Hi, everyone, and welcome to Brick Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is other Bay. Say hi.
Hello, look at this beautiful book.
And today we're talking about
She's so
House
pretty.
of Earth and Blood, although the
That
book
is the
doesn't
title.
want you to know that because it is written so fucking tiny on the book itself,
Yeah.
and Crescent City is so big. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the second one, but there is I've seen two covers for the second one where like it's tiny, like on the first one, and then it's also big.
You've seen two
So I don't know
covers
if
for
the
the
first one
second
has a
one?
big option.
I haven't seen
I'm
that.
pretty sure. I could be wrong. Maybe I've just combined them. What's
But
the second one called?
I don't know if I said it, but we're talking about House of Breath
Of
and
Earth
Sky.
and Blood.
Or no, House
Earth
of
and
Earth and
Blood.
Blood, sorry. Which is the first book in the
Sky and
Crescent
Breath
City
is the second
series.
one. Oh, I
Um,
see. That is the international edition covers are really pretty.
I think those were AI art though, and like that had like a whole
That had a
There was,
whole
like, a whole
thing,
thing.
didn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, it was a whole thing on TikTok.
Anyways.
Anyway, the first
I
book
wanna
in the
see if
Crescent
there's
City
a-
series by Sarah J Maas. And
and someone
it
here is
is
very excited.
she's
I
very
don't know
excited. This book was when I downloaded the audiobook and I saw that it was 27 hours long.
Oh, it is so long.
The second one's longer. Sorry.
I do need to like rouse on you for a second, Addie, because I was not expecting just a completely different vibe shift.
Oh, did I not warn you this is urban fantasy?
No.
Urban or well, like I don't know. It's urban
It's high urban fantasy.
Oh, it's definitely
urban fantasy.
It's definitely urban fantasy. It's just urban fantasy books are not this long, so it's like
yes, that is true.
If this was like just a
For
really,
urban
really
fan-
like
it's
this is
2.5
like three
urban
detective
fantasy
novels in
books.
one.
Yeah, it's the length
Yes.
of 3 urban fantasy books with like
I
half
like
the plot.
those covers you just sent, Mara.
Yes.
Those are very pretty.
Yeah, it's the length of half urban fantasy books with half the plot.
This doesn't have half the plot.
This,
A lot
it
happens.
does.
this
A
was a
lot
detective
happens,
novel
book.
in an urban fantasy setting.
A lot happens. A lot happens, but as far as like the plot, like we'll get into it, but the plot itself of
It's
like
very simple.
who
Yeah.
did it is very simple and very drawn out over 200,000 something ass words, and it did not need to
240,000
be.
words. It was really long. I wasn't. Because also when I saw the length as well, I thought it would be a lot more. You know, just like whole stuff, and it was just like we're just doing. I still don't know why we had a hunt POV either. I'm so confused. I was talking to Bay about this the other day. Not hunt.
I did
not
like the hunt
Rune.
POVs though.
Rune.
Yeah, Rune.
I don't know why
did
we
not
had
need.
POVs either.
We
I
don't.
didn't
We
like
don't need
them.
this book. We don't need runes. Next book you do, but this one you don't. For sure, you don't.
Yeah,
need
I was saying I'm trying to work out why we have him.
I think you just don't like Hunt.
No, I think I would have liked Hunt if I hadn't been in his stupid head when he's being like really broody. Because it has the same like. Because I don't like being in Reese's head either. Every time we're in Reese's head, I'm like, every time like this happens, and even like the times we're in Cassian's head, sometimes like mostly it's okay, but sometimes you're in Cassian's head, and I'm like, and then he's like, I'm sad because I'm like a man, and I'm like, whatever. It just sometimes when we jump into the male love interest's head, it's like I'm gonna shoot myself.
Yeah, I do have a question I need to ask my husband for science as well, because it's back to I'm also back to when we're in the male love interest head, right? It's always like whenever he thinks of the female love interest, it's like he's just constantly imagining like her hand, like every time she like picks up a pen, he's like, I imagined that hand wrapped around my cock. Why?
Yes.
And I need to know.
I think that's an SJM thing, I think. Well, I think that's just a male thing. Like a male love interest written by women thing.
Yes. Yeah, it is. That
I'm
didn't
just
get me so
gonna.
much as like him
Yeah, that
constantly
doesn't.
admiring her, like not that high heels are hot, but admiring her for walking in them, which was very progressive of him. But like I was just like that. I was like, that's an interesting way. I was like, because you can't and you want to. Like, where is this going? This is interesting. Keep like commit, Sarah, commit. So I don't know.
I like.
But Hunt is like fun mostly.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's just kind of
yeah,
there for me.
yeah.
He's not
And
offensive.
then yeah, at the end we ended up getting like just a random fourth POV for like half a
Yes, for a
minute.
Yeah.
literally it's 2 pages.
And I understand why, because the boys weren't there anymore. It was what's his face?
It's hang on, I have it right here.
Starts with a D. The guy
It
that was doing all
is
the tech shit.
It is Adis and Jezebel.
Okay, then there was someone else as
Yeah.
well though. There was
The epilogue is just Adis and Jezebel.
No, it was not them. It was when she was still in the city doing the thing, and Hunt goes and does his thing and rescues her, and then but Rune's already gone out as well to try and find them, but then we're back in the command center. The guy that was running all the tech in the command center.
Oh, Declan?
Yeah, was it Declan?
I don't
I think
I
remember.
think so.
whatever.
I don't know.
We were in his head for a minute because when
Yeah,
they
that
were
was
watching
weird.
her go down, 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 and do the drop.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
in his head
which
as well. I didn't
I
mind
see.
jumping in his head.
No, because we needed to see that she had more power than her father. That's the purpose of that. It's for the
Yeah,
next book.
and neither of the boys were there, so because one
Yeah.
of them was dead next door and the other one was somewhere else. Also, I'm it look, we needed a little bit, just a little bit of world building here, where we were told
It drops you in the deep end. It drops you in the deep end, and I tried to warn you. I tried
it
to
took
warn
me
you.
so long. What are all the magical beings called again? The
Veneer.
V word.
The vermin
Veneer.
tide. I don't freaking know.
Yes,
Veneer.
it took me so long to work out what the fuck a veneer was, and that was because I ended up getting so confused every time it got mentioned. Because I'm like, she keeps mentioning veneer. Is it wolf? No, because she's fae. What the fuck is a veneer? And then I looked it up, and it was just anything that's not human.
It's clear on the second read.
We haven't done
Yeah.
ratings yet. Do we want to go ahead and do that?
I don't know what I rated. I'm confused.
So the
I don't
first time
know.
I read this, it was for me it's different than the first time. Also because I have the second book as because the second book everything's clear when you have the second book.
Okay. My rating right now is a 3.
Yeah, look,
On its own. So for me, on its own, as just standing alone, everything else taken out of it, like taking out me squealing inside my head, being like, "Oh my god, she is related to Lucian," stuff like that, because obviously you have all that going on in the back. Just a urban fantasy detective novel by itself. It was all right, but it was too long. And also there wasn't enough to overcome alcohol.
alcohol got a bit. There was a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
I ban her forever from using that word ever again. Oh my god.
It's
She
much
used
less
it
frequent in
less
the
and
second
less.
one.
Well, at the end, she started using a different word for asshole, but I can't remember what it was. What was it? I'm just gonna have to search hole and
I
see what
forget,
happens.
but
luckily this isn't a erotic book, because otherwise we'd get. Oh no, it was asshole. It's just the narrator said it weird. Okay, no worries.
after a lot of what I enjoyed about this book was because I've read the ACOTAR series, and without that and just this on its own, I read a lot of urban fantasy. And I've read a lot of urban fantasy detective stories that also have a lot of different like magical creatures and factions and stuff going on. And I've just read a lot of books that do the urban fantasy detective thing a lot better.
Oh, speaking of, yeah, Addie, we have to force you to read the Mercyverse books because I don't think you've read them yet.
No, and the thing is, I haven't because I don't love urban fantasy. Urban fantasy is not up there for me.
But you like this?
I love this. This is unashamedly whatever my favorite SJM series. By far. But you'll see why. You'll understand why.
Okay.
Eventually.
I want you to read Moon Cold. Just Moon Cold. Just read the first one. And then Alpha
I'm trying to get ahead for Throne of Glass. Okay? I'm trying to get ahead of that.
At some point.
I'm also trying to do recon for Throne of Glass because I'm trying to figure out what reading order I want us to do since I've read the series before. So I have to be very ahead.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, part of me is kind of dreading Throne of Glass.
That's fair. It was a lot better on the second read for me than the first one.
It's so long.
Yeah, the series is long. We'll have to break it up. If we ever do it, we'll have to break it up.
Because but okay, because I looked at character portraits because it does help me, right? It gives me an idea, especially when they started talking about like Hunt's like tattoo halo, and I'm like, what the fuck is a tattoo halo? And so like that helped with that. Fury, she looks identical to Amryn.
So she's supposed to look a different type of Asian than Amryn.
Well, she doesn't in all the fan art. She looks exactly like Amryn.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like more Southern Asian, Southeastern Asian, as opposed to Amryn, who's supposed to be more like
Eastern.
The fans are very unimaginative.
Yeah.
And they whitewash a lot of the characters in the fan art anyway. Like Reese is often drawn just as a white guy, when he's just pretty explicitly not white.
So I'm gonna send you
books, but
Now I do have questions. Portrait. Did the Fae in this world come from the other?
I'm not answering that question
because there are hints.
I'm not answering it.
Okay, because even what's the name of the world that they talk about? Pathos or whatever.
Pathos?
I think it's Crescent City Library, because it'll be there without spoilers, right? Pathos.
Yeah. Which
I can see how you get from Prithian to Pathos over 1,500 years of work.
1,000.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 15,000 years.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of years. No,
I can see how you get that to that. You know.
Yes. This is her third series, obviously, and in ACOTAR, she has a lot of references to Throne of Glass, and it's
because they all take place on different planets as well.
Different universes, different planes, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you.
Fuck you.
You'll find out.
All the star stuff as well, and the coloring of the angels and stuff. I'm like, I am getting Night Court vibes with this one, and I don't know if it's just because it's the same author, but I also know that they're all linked in some way.
So she very often just makes references to her other series as well. Like there is that baseline. She has a lot of because she mentions in this book like calls to like. She uses that phrase in this book.
I'm not convinced that that's just a fucking reference though.
Well, you know the answer to Mara's question, so you can't.
Okay. But like actually I don't know the answer to the question. I know one thing, and that's the thing that's at the end of the next book. That's all I know.
That's true.
Yeah, so I just wanted
But
to
so you have
just
some
double
fake
checking
guy,
the thing.
and he's
The
like,
thing that
like
she
calls
knows.
to like, and I was like, fucking dang, take a drink. But also, oh my god, I called, you know.
So I will
Half her
wholly
word count is
admit,
for repeating phrases.
like, I will completely admit, part of the reason I love this series so much is because ACOTAR exists and because I have so much love for ACOTAR.
Yeah, look, that's
But
one
this-
thing that like I have seen that ACOTAR walks so Crescent City can run. I've seen so many people say that.
Yeah. And it's because there's so many references.
Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy this book. I'm saying that, like, if you're asking me to rate it just as an urban fantasy detective novel, I have some edits, like, on that front.
And add the romance in too, because that's a big plot as well.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, even with that, this novel, with that, you could have fit everything into 100,000 words. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You could have.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I lost what I was going to say. I was going to say something insightful in relation to what you were just saying, and I lost it. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
My brain is still like I've still got like another like 5 minutes before my brain is like ready to start a conversation.
Yeah.
Also, some of this fan art's fucking weird, right? And I'll tell you why. Like,
be careful looking at fan art.
Just no, I right now I just looked up La Habra because one thing I noticed with La Habra,
I have a perfect fan art of her.
Like some of her fan art, like she's like this like really curvy thing. Yes. Other times she's like really cute as a button. Other times she's
supposed
like
to be
like
I
like
won't see what she's supposed to look like.
I don't know what she's supposed to look like because all the fan art looks completely different.
Well, you know what? She's kind of like, I mean, I imagined her as somebody that can like morph into a bunch of stuff. So I was like just kind of cool with that.
She is supposed to be a tiny, tiny humanoid, where she looks like a human, but she's made of fire.
Yeah, but like
so like fire people from Elemental, the new Pixar movie. That's what I was picturing as I was reading this. I don't know if you've seen the trailers for that movie.
I have my headcanon that I just sent as well.
Yeah, so like my
because I have a folder on Instagram of fan art of everyone that's my headcanon.
Okay. I'll send you what I was thinking.
Okay, I'm gonna put in the side chat. It's Syrinx's fandom page, and it's also my favorite fan art of him. But it's got her in it, and because this was the first one I've seen, this is just how I pictured it the whole time.
Yeah, that's adorable of him. I love
how cute is that. And I've seen some of the other fan art of him, and I'm like, no, none of that compares to this one because some of the others are just like
yeah, I mean that's kind of, but it'd be realistic because she's
well, I mean that's just from the fan art of the Pixar movie, like, but that's just what I was picturing because that was like the most recent thing I had reference to.
But like with the Bryce fan art, right? Like, because how she's described it, she's tall,
so crazy.
Like she's taller than the average human, right? But she has shape to her body. She's not like a runway model thin.
Yeah.
And then some of the fan art I've seen of her is, I'll see if I could. Where the hell did it go? I just had that open. Where are you? Okay, I'll just Google you again. But then others, right, has her like I'll just send you the open image new tab. Like this one. This is not a tall person that is curvy. She's just about
Like no, she's supposed to be. That's also Hunt is not. That is not him at all. He's white.
But she has like she has an apron belly in this picture, and I don't think she's meant to have an apron belly. I feel like she's meant to be.
She has a dancer's body. She has a dancer's body.
She's slim with. She's slim. I also don't think. But also though, are her boobs meant to be like bigger than a bowling ball each, or is it just bigger than a
I don't think
face?
so. I think it's just bigger than the average bear. Like, I don't think that,
because those babies are huge in that picture, and I don't feel like they're ever described as being quite that big.
well, Hunt's also not described as that, so as that image depicts him. So maybe that person just doesn't have reading comprehension. I don't know.
Yeah, this is him on this is his official wiki fan art. I haven't read it. It's fine. I just looked it up.
Yeah, please don't.
Just for the picture.
Yeah, that's more right. Is that what his Umbra Mortis mask is supposed to look like? Oh my god.
I didn't even pay attention to the skull. I guess so.
That's really dramatic.
That's
his mask. I thought his. Have y'all have seen on TikTok that the COD mask of that guy with like it's like painted on skull on the face, and he's like looking like. That's what I imagined the Umbra Mortis mask as, not like a literal skull.
I just saw the picture you sent.
Yeah.
That's really cute. No, I just also just the love interest in Throne of Glass, because I'm assuming there's a love interest in Throne of Glass. Is he winged?
No.
I'm disappointed.
He transforms into a bird though.
Okay, well, so he is winged.
So I mean, SJM's got a thing. She's got a thing. So,
Mommy, I fuck a bird.
Listen, next week I will reveal all my secrets. Okay, I will reveal all my secrets.
Just promise me she doesn't want to make out with him while he's a bird.
No, not at all. Because he's like a bird-sized bird. Like he's just a normal, like a hawk-sized bird. He's not.
Well, I guess last time it was a bat, so.
What was that?
I guess last time it was a bat, not a bird, so,
Yeah.
But also Throne of Glass is just a whirlwind because you go through 4 different love interests in total. Not to mention that every side character has their own bromance, which she is going to do in this series as well, just so you know. Everyone has romances, and there's so much. So Throne of Glass can be mentally exhausting at times. It's fun,
okay,
but it can be. It's YA. It is YA. There's some cursing in it, and there's some mature themes, but it's more meant to be YA.
Okay.
Like there's no sex in any of the books, for example.
Okay, so
anyways,
with this book, I knew she was going to be the chosen one. I just didn't know how she was going to be the chosen one.
Yeah,
but I knew she. When he was talking about like, oh, I'm the only, like when it's like, oh, he's the chosen one and he's the Starlight thing. I'm like, she's going to be a better Starlight, and I don't know how, but she's going to be because Okay, I just want to touch on as well, like. I'm okay. You know how like there's the chosen one trope, and a lot of people are like, oh, how come like there's always the main character who's a chosen one? And I'm like, look, if there's going to be a chosen one in a book, I'm okay with it being the main character because otherwise they wouldn't be the main character.
Exactly. Like,
but while I was thinking about this yesterday, I was like, I've got a book idea though.
Where she's not the chosen one and someone else is.
My best friend is the chosen one, and all they got me is this lousy T-shirt, and it's just the entire book right from the side character's perspective.
Cassie, not now.
And I don't know how well that would work, although it did work as an episode, as a singular episode for My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Where like the main 6 has like this whole like big like giant. What were they fighting? Was it like a giant bee or a giant bear or something?
Well, it's not necessarily that, but like. Because I think if it was like your best friend though, you would be a lot more actively involved in the plot. But also, you remember in the Red Queen's War series, it's like, hey, your sister died, so you're not the chosen one, but like maybe you'll do.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm not a good chosen one, and they're like, we know. Oh, we know that this is bad, but unfortunately for we need a chosen one. So,
and she's dead.
Yeah.
So like he is a quote unquote, I guess he would be like Rune in
the backup
one. He's the backup chosen one.
Yeah, because Rune has has
He's got
chosen one
something.
abilities. He can make a little bit of light on his fingy. You know, he can like ET
The
phone
sword-
home,
The
but
sword
like
likes him. The sword likes him.
the
Not as
sword
much as
likes
it
him.
likes her.
No, the sword like you'll see. This is not a spoiler. The sword really likes her. Sword really likes her,
You know
but
what
it has
though?
a one-two love.
One thing I am impressed with though is she like both the main POV characters had like a big secret thing, right? And hers,
Yeah.
I'm not the her having style. I think I'm not so as impressed with because like there was hints
No.
that she was hiding something, right?
Well,
There
yeah,
was
because
hints she was
every time it flashed back to when she's like, "I killed someone before," and every time it flashed back to that scene of her and
she's
Danica,
like, no, yeah,
yeah,
like she mentally
it's
like
like
smacked
obviously,
herself
yeah.
upside the head. But Hunt's secret in this one, I'm like, when did this happen? And why? Like, how did we? Why? Like, I guess on a reread we'll probably see more hints of it. But like, because I guess I was more focused on other stuff. I was like, when did he have time to secretly plot against her for a week?
No, it's not that obvious. Actually, it's really not that obvious. But there's also that other thing about Hunt that I don't even know about yet, that they haven't even revealed to the reader in the second book yet, about his lineage. That's something like, oh, he was bred for this or something. No fucking idea. But I'm interested.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just like, when did we like? I'm surprised by this because we've been in his head half this book, and there has been
Yeah,
nary a clue.
there's like a little bit, I think, of him being like, oh, well, this changes things, kind of like at times, but
Yeah, like I was surprised. I was surprised. But the upside is though is that they resolved it before the end of the book, which means that we don't
yes.
have to deal with that bullshit next book.
No, there's not really book 2 bullshit with them too.
I appreciate the lack of bullshit.
Like,
Because we know that
they're not.
when the second fourth wing comes out, we're gonna have to deal with a whole bunch of
Oh, God.
bullshit.
Okay, we're like really off track, so we should. Do you guys
Yes,
have
I was gonna
ratings
say
that you share?
That's
I mean, we
right,
all
we'll
know
do a
mine.
I don't know if I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at with my rating.
That's okay. That is
Characters. Bryce.
So we have
is
Bryce.
the main character.
Bryce Quinlan.
Yeah,
Don't you
Bryce
forget it.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Bryce is half human, half fae. Daddy is the king.
The Autumn King.
Yes, the Autumn King.
Could it be any more obvious? Anyways, no, he's not Lucian or Eris or anyone. Even though the Autumn King is never named, he is not anyone from Akatar. Just so we're all clear.
Yes, but however,
Is he not? He's never named. You're right about
never
that.
named.
No, he's
huh?
the Autumn King. Although if you just imagine Lucian's, I guess, legal father in personality, just transplanted over into this world.
It's literally the Autumn King. Bryce hates her dad. She has really good parents that are very, very sweet. And I like her parents. I think her parents are nice and fleshed out. But Bryce, she graduated from college a couple years ago or a year ago. She works for a woman named Jezebel at an antiquity store, but the antiquity store has a lot of secret contraband in it that is illegal and obviously contraband. Yep. But
and
that's
Jezebel
Bryce.
is a sorceress.
Yes, Jezebel is the only character we will ever, as far as I'm aware, meet from the House of Flame and Shadow, which is the name of the third book, oddly enough.
Yeah, so let's just like quickly go into there's 4 houses, and
they are not relevant at all.
Yeah, when the audiobook started, like it broke it down, but every single time they mentioned the houses, I'm like, I'm confused, and I still don't actually understand the purpose of the houses. But
I don't either.
There's uppers and lowers, and if you're an upper, you belong to a house, and it's based on your species. Bryce's 2 species are spread over 2 houses. She wanted to join the human house, and Daddy was like, "No, you will be the other."
She declared for the House of Sky and Breath, which is the second book. The House of Earth and Blood is shifters, humans, witches, stuff like that.
And also, can we just take a moment to appreciate that ordinary animals, just your average everyday puppy dog, is
in a house.
Is in a house. Meanwhile, there are like sentient beings that can speak that are considered lower, and
Yeah, the sprites. Yeah. Sky and Breath, book 2, angels, fae, elementals, sprites.
but
Many
they've been kicked
waters.
out.
Many waters is just anything that lives underwater. And then Flame and Shadow are your demons, your reapers, wraiths, vampires, dragon people, necromancers, evil.
Yeah,
All that.
I'm guessing that'll be the 4th book.
I assume that that's going to be the final book, yes.
Because
I
otherwise
assume...
I'm going to be really mad because this is how we.
Wait, no.
This is not how we named it.
No, Flame and Shadow's the next book. Coming out
Okay,
in
well
January.
then Many Waters will
Many
be the
Waters
last
is the last book, which I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe unless this is a trilogy and then she just ends it.
No,
but
there's-
I do not
no,
see
there's
how.
4. There's 4
Yeah.
because she's got 7 books coming out. Two of them is that, 2 of them is Crescent City, and 3 of them is the new series. Oh, was it 4 is the new series?
Well, and also though, there's no way she wraps up this series in one more book unless that book is like 500,000 words.
No.
Oh
There's
God,
gonna be
don't tempt her. Shut up.
Well, she's writing
Speaking
it
of
right
God.
now, and it was already like 300,000 words, but that was before it's been edited.
Yeah, no, I'm not convinced that anybody knows how to use the delete key.
I don't know. There's more scenes. No,
Oh,
not
it's a
even in
planned
extra.
trilogy. It's a trilogy, apparently.
This is a
Crescent City.
trilogy?
Apparently.
No fucking way.
We're gonna be able to beat our enemies.
I'm
with the last
sorry.
book.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's
Look,
no
I'm
way.
sorry. If you are going to
If you
have
fused it to a
book,
stick in Tears of the
series-
Kingdom.
No, if you have a series where there are 4 houses and you start naming the
4
books
books.
after the houses, there has to be 4 books because that's just rude.
It's
Otherwise, and my
incomplete.
brain doesn't like it. And
Well-
also, I'm actually upset about the House of Many Waters because all the others are like the House of blah and blah.
Yes,
and
I agree. But also, okay, oh god, no, we need to revisit this trilogy thing next week after y'all have formally
Okay.
read the second one, so
Okay.
we can
Okay.
all be
we'll
confused
put a pin in
as
this
hell
conversation.
how she is going to wrap that up in one more book. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We'll find out next year. Wait.
February 1st is when I get my book in the mail, but I'm buying it on January 31st and on ebook and
Starting.
reading it that night. But Hunt is another character. He is our love interest. He is an angel. He's a fallen angel. He's got gray wings. He is a slave. He once helped lead a rebellion 50 or so years ago with his lover to overthrow the Asteri, which the Asteri are the overarching archangels that rule this planet.
Yep, they're the ruling force of the
There's,
Republic.
what, 7 of them? I don't remember. There's 6
She
or
loves
7 of them.
There's 7 fake courts in this as well, by the way.
Yes, there are. She loves the number 7.
It's a good
But-
mystical number.
Yes, so, but one of them's dead. One of the Asteri is dead, so there's like 6, I think. So Hunt is currently working for, he's part of something called the 33rd, and he's also Umbra Mortis. He is an assassin. Yeah.
And he has to kill like 2,000 something people to
Yeah,
make
to
up
atone
his
for
bad
how many
history.
people he killed at the final battle, because he has lightning powers.
Well,
That
also his
you
battalion.
never see.
Everyone
Yes.
that he led into battle, everyone
Yes.
they killed, he has to atone for
Yes.
every death because he was the leader.
I guess the next big
But yeah,
character
he's also the only one with lightning powers in like
yes.
centuries or whatever.
He's very,
So
very
he's
powerful.
also a chosen one. He's a chosen one
Yeah.
angel.
Then there's Danica. Is it Danica in the audiobook?
Danica, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I swear if I'm saying it wrong, I'm not changing it because Danica.
Well, how
Yeah,
else would you
Danica.
say it? Like Danica? No.
Danica. There's a girl on Love Island. Her name is Danica, and Christian and I could never
can't.
get over it. It was Love Island
just
Australia
angry.
too, so that's your
Oh,
people.
yuck. My people don't go on Love Island, okay? Trash that
She was
happens in my
Australian.
country go on Love Island.
She
I
was
said
an
trash that live in my country.
I
I don't blame
Danica.
her.
Danica
I'll be
is
back
the
in a
wolf
sec.
shifter best friend who has a lot of secrets, and just because the blurb tells you that she dies in the beginning of the book does not mean she is not involved deeply in the rest of this series. Danica never dies, basically. She's dead, but she's around forever. But she's Bryce's best friend. They've been best friends since the beginning of college. She is set to be the next prime of her pack of wolves. Her grandfather is currently prime. Her mom's really mean, horrible. Her name's Sabine. She also is a roach that never dies. But Sabine is very mean to her daughter. We don't know who Danica's dad is at this point. We just know that we hate him. But yeah,
I do have a question about the wolves,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
Danica had her own pack, and she was alpha of her pack. But then there's
Yes.
also the prime. So is the prime just
Yes.
the head of like all?
the
wolves?
prime is the alpha
And-
of the alphas.
So he's the Marok. Okay.
The prime is, and the prime apparent is the next in line, especially because the current prime, you'll meet him like really in the next book. He's old as hell.
Yeah,
He is not.
You
he's
know
not
what
too
though?
good.
I like it. I like him.
I
at
like
the end
him.
when he's like, "There's one wolf."
That's
left,"
a
and she
true
goes, "Dad,
wolf."
that's a sword. That's not a wolf." And he goes, "That's a true wolf." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're fucking cool."
Oh yeah, and Sabine's just like melting fire out of her eyeballs. Yeah, it's great.
She did have she did have a moment at the end of this book. She had a
Yes.
moment. I don't think that moment will last because
I
I know
think-
that people like her don't ever really truly change. But
Sabine loved her daughter. She just did not know how to show it.
because she's a ice queen, cold-hearted bitch.
Then there's Fury and Juniper, which are obligatory best friend characters that are really in the background. They're not very involved in this book. Juniper is a fawn thing, fawn humanoid. She is in the ballet, but
Yeah,
she
fawn-
kept.
fawn's-
She,
Yeah, so
Fawn's
like,
sweet.
is a fawn half? Is
Fawn's
it goat?
You don't
No,
need the
dear.
tumness.
No, but
Fawn.
there's
No,
a
that's
mystical
not-
character.
that's not her. She has normal human legs.
No, she doesn't, because we hear her
Does she
clopping.
not?
She clops.
Yeah, no, she clops.
The-
She's a
She
fawn.
clops.
She
There is
clippity
mention of
clop
clopping.
Clippity cloppy.
That's wild. I imagined her
Clippity
with human
cloppity.
legs.
She's
I
a
imagine her
goat.
with human
Yeah.
legs with ears. She's not a goat. She's a deer.
Oh, right. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but she
Like the poor
clops.
fawn walking behind them. Yeah, the poor fawn. Okay, it wasn't fawn. It wasn't Juniper. It was a different fawn. Hunt Snell sent the poor fawn walking behind them, bolting down the street. His delicate hooves clopping on the cobblestones.
Yeah, so I
the
guess that
fawn's
means she does
clippity
too.
clop.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
they
she's like a ballet
yeah,
star.
She gets this. Yeah, she gets described as having delicate hooves, and I just kept trying to imagine
Yeah.
how like hooves
Yeah,
and
so
ballet
a
go
fawn
How
is-
together.
ballet-
but
that-
that
that-
was-
that's why I
half
thought
human,
she had
half
normal.
goat.
Oh, is it? I thought it was half deer.
Yeah, the bottom. No, it's the back legs of a goat. Is the bottom legs. And then mid
Okay, well,
torso
June
changes
is-
from goat to human.
Well, June and Fury will start dating, so that'll be fun to imagine how that all works. But Fury is an unknown creature. She's like Amryn in the fact that we have no idea who she is or what she
Yeah,
is.
and
All we
she's a
know is she's a mercenary and she murders a lot of people for a living. And she's very important. She's very, very important for some reason, but we don't know why.
Well, don't worry. All of the fan art forgets that she has hooves too.
Okay, well,
Oh
yeah.
no, they don't. Oh, they don't. Okay, that's an interesting way to depict
What was
that.
that?
Send
The
it.
ballet
Link
with
it.
like the hooves.
Link it. I must see
I want
it.
it.
But I think that's everyone, like main character wise, for this book. I guess we can mention Connor for a second. Connor is the fake out love
Ooh,
interest,
Reed.
whatever.
He's very important.
Oh fuck, Reed's in there for like 2 seconds. That is
Did
interesting.
we talk
Okay, so
about
they just
Rune?
have.
We didn't talk about Rune.
Oh my god, he's like in the second book. He's my favorite character.
he
How did I forget him?
Character, are you sure?
No, he is.
Oh,
in the
look at
second
him
book.
balleting.
In the second book, because of his love story, he is my favorite character. In
Let
the
me
second-
guess. Let me guess. His love story is with who his father wants him to be with in the first
No.
place.
Oh
No?
god, no. Wait for the plot twist on that one, sweetie. Ooh, it's spicy.
Because they were flirting this book.
Nope. All I'll say is she don't swing that way.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
wait till you see who she swings with. Okay, anyways. No, I love her though.
Okay.
She's really awesome. No, Rune.
You know what? She has balls. Okay, because at the end,
No.
all the ladies like, but this isn't protocol. This isn't protocol, and she's like, "Fuck protocol. Hey, send everyone we know down to the thing."
Oh,
like,
and she's like, "Let me just free Hunt from his slavery bond real quick."
Yep.
She's spicy. I like her.
You know how,
Lahaba.
though, speaking of swinging that way, Danica, and when Hunt was like, were you guys like a thing?
I don't.
Danica's whole thing read is like hard.
See, and I don't get that. I know you and I had this conversation. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Look, maybe she does, but I don't think towards Bryce, at least.
A lot of Bryce's internal monologue also read that way to me too.
They're supposed to be just very, very deep good friends.
Look, I feel like
I know what's supposed to be happening. I'm just like it's.
Look, I'm not surprised that people can read into that, but I just feel like a lot of, especially like when there's a trauma bond involved.
Yeah, that is part of it.
Secrets involved. A lot of female friendships, especially because girls tend to be more physically affectionate with each other than men tend to be with their friends. A lot of really strong female friendships can read as quite gay.
Yeah,
I feel, but
I think so too.
I don't know. Look, if it comes out like that, they both had like actual like some sort of feeling for each other. I don't think I would be surprised, but
no, but it won't.
Yeah.
It won't get addressed like the were you in Danica? It'll never get addressed that way again. And next book you'll learn a lot more about her, and all that.
Yeah. Now regarding the plot and Danica, because I hadn't read the blurb, I knew the cover and that it was in the same general.
I warned you guys. I said that this book is about what if your best friend died and you realized you didn't know anything about her.
Well, I didn't remember that, did I? I still have no memory of you saying that. And I will say, like, she did it good. She did a really good fake out. We had 7 chapters before the time jump. Part 2 starts on chapter 8. So I guess later. 6 chapters. Yeah. So I guess 6 chapters of the friendship, and then like the 7th chapter is like, oh, they're dead. And I was just, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as she walked in and saw like Danica's like ripped apart body, I was like, no. And I googled Danica Crescent City and like just the wiki, and just like first sentence was like on the search bar was Danica was, and I'm like, oh, okay, she is dead. Moving on.
It's solid
because you can always tell from the wiki, is it an is or a was?
Yeah. Well, because it took me forever to read this book because I knew nothing about it. I just knew it was SJM and I was going to read it one day, but it took me a while because I was a tome. And then I just started reading it and I was very, very confused. And then Danica died and I went, ooh, okay. So I think that's what gets most people for this book is like, oh, she really did. She's okay. And then 2 years later.
Normally it's like a chapter or it's just mentioned. Like in Covenant, her mom dies like at the very beginning, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, dies, quote unquote. I think she died at the end of the 2nd chapter of that. It was just enough to be like, this is where we are, this is what we're doing. Oh, and now she's dead, and now the plot can begin. This one, it took 7 chapters for the plot
honestly,
to begin.
The reason for that, though, is because, like, 99% of the time, you're not going to be a famous enough author to have enough grace to get 8 chapters.
That's true.
Of just fucking around. You're not going to get that.
That's true.
And, like, he presents the horn thing. And so, probably if you were an author that's not as famous, which means they're going to tell you to cut back on the word count, and they're going to make you do that. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to make all of those plot points happen while Danica is still alive, a lot of the early ones, and then you're going to have to kill her, and then you probably not going to get that 2-year time jump.
Which I think it was.
Look,
It was good.
I am glad
because you have to make it, because you have to make something happen in like the first chapter, or for the most part, they're just like, we're not going to publish you. We don't care.
Yeah, look, I'm glad it turned out how it did. I'll tell you why. Because if it had been like, it'd have like the 2 years before had happened often, and she just has those flashes of memory or whatever. I'm pretty sure every time she thought of Danica for the rest of the book, I just thought, I don't fucking care. I don't care.
It's like, I don't know her.
Fuck off with your best friend.
Yeah.
You gave us enough where it's like, okay, I believe, I see, I understand these two are tight. There's also the complications with Connor's death, all that stuff. Like, I get it. It's fine. Like, she established just how, you know.
Yeah. And also in that, she places a lot of threads down for the rest of this book and the rest of the next book. She places a lot of threads down that get picked up a lot later as well in those 8 chapters. So it's an interesting, but it's also an info dump. It is a heavy info dump.
Is it an info dump though? Because I was confused. It was a. Sorry, I'll rephrase. It was an info dump with no explanation.
Yeah, it was dropping you in the deep end, which is her style.
I don't really feel. See, I didn't feel like it was dropping me in the deep end. I wasn't super confused, honestly. At least not with like the world itself. Like some of the terms were unexplained, which really, if you're going to introduce a term, there's no reason to not explain it.
No,
if the characters are going to be using it and everything, you can explain it. Because everything was just the universe, I was like, okay. There were a couple things, honestly, with the world building that took me out of it. One, reality TV.
I love that.
But the fact that they have like reality TV, just like, I don't know. I was like, okay, just set it on Earth then. You know, I don't know. Like, I was like, at that point, what world building? And then I guess audio mail. That's the world building.
I know.
So
I was waiting for you to mention audio mail. You're so mad at that.
Still mad about it. Because we're not changing words. We're not. I don't know. Nothing interesting has happened with like the government, and it's just like there. As far as the world and like the technology and everything, there is no world building. It's just 2023 or like whenever this book came out.
Well, there's a different government style.
Yeah, kind of, but like we don't see a lot of it.
No, you'll see it more.
Yeah.
And one thing the technology is not explained. We don't get a ton about like architecture or whatever. It's like there's not really world building. It's just like that there are other critters and that there is a hierarchy for the critters, and that's about it.
One thing I did enjoy about the at least the city or whatever, I looked at the map, I saw the river, and I'm like, oh, Crescent City. I see why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that. I look a lot of the quote unquote world building is a lot of my confusion came from just the terms, and again, because the audiobook, like it reads the houses and what's in it, but like you get it, you're just starting the book, you have no idea what you're about to go into, and then she's just listing off house of bloody blah.
It's really not that relevant.
And what? Yeah.
It's really not that relevant either.
I know. I just feel like for the rest of the book, though, every time because they mention houses a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like, I don't understand what the big deal is about the houses or whatever. Yeah. And then I looked in the book, like the ebook, to see if there was. I'm like, oh, that was the thing she read at the beginning. Okay, I get it now. But also though, I just wish we knew why are there houses in the first place? And I wish I had an answer for that because I don't know.
I'm trying to think if you get an answer. I don't think you do.
Yeah, so that's my thing is like things that are actually worth explaining don't get explained. They're, it just like the world's fine, but like
I will say, for as long as this book, I don't think I was ever like strictly bored in this book. It's just I wasn't getting those same like in Akatar, right? Like, it was all like really like the whole book. And this one, I don't think I really had many, moments. If that makes sense. I didn't get giddy.
A lot of if I had to say any points where I got giddy, it was like times when there were ACOTAR references. Was mostly where I got excited.
I did get a little bit choked up at some of the deaths or scenes. Like, you know me, I've told you guys this before. If I feel any emotion above a blood, like when Danica's like, you gotta run and jump, and she shoves her up, and now she doesn't exist anymore. Like, I was a little bit like,
yeah,
like my throat got a little bit constricted there.
Yeah. Yeah, the ending. I mean, she knows how to end books. She knows how to make ending sequences.
Yes. Okay. So also, we had the false ending in this book as well. By the way, I can't remember what it was, but it happened. Oh, the Micah. That was the false ending.
Oh yeah, Micah dying. Yeah, that was the false ending.
But
suddenly demons.
Yes. But in ACOTAR, and I was saying this to Bay the other day as well, like, remember how I was saying, like, in those books, like, it felt like there was a mid-season finale halfway through each of the books. There was no mid-season finale in this book, and I feel like it needed
That's fair. That's fair. I'm trying to...
Because because the bulk of the book was kind of, like, at the same, like, the whole way.
There is one next book.
Okay.
There is a mid-season finale next book.
Because you want your book to have look like you kind of want it to look like a pulse monitor, kind of.
Oh yeah.
With the mid-season finale being a big giant one, whereas this one kind of looked like it was, like, in terms of tone and what was happening and shit. Like, a lot of the book, it was kind of more like a flat line.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't really peaks and lows. And I think that's why I'm so confused about my rating, about what to rate it, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that, babe?
Do we want to try to do plot?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you got your notes. We'll just follow.
Yep. All right. So we see Bryce at Griffin Antiquities, which is where she works for Jezebel. Danica shows up and she's all bloody and is like, ugh, life sucks, bro. We get exposition about who these people are at this point. We meet Lele, which is the fire sprite. She's
Lily.
Sassy, amazing. Lily. Oh, is it Lily? Okay. Jezebel doesn't like it when Danica's there. She was a witch, which is House of Earth and Blood, defected to the Underking, which is unusual. The Underking is essentially Hades, by the way.
Yeah, there's a section of Crescent City where all the dead live, and dead don't
Bone
live.
Quarter.
And he's over there.
It's the Bone Quarter. We learned that Jezebel likes to turn people that annoy her into animals, small animals. Super fun. We don't actually see it.
Yeah, I was going to say, does she actually, or is that just like reputation?
I think it's reputation, because everyone's terrified of Jezebel. Anyways, we learned that Danica got Bryce drunk last week or a couple nights ago, and she has a tattoo down her spine that's hurting her. Danica is a part of the Pack of Devils, essentially a special ops unit of the police. Danica and Bryce met 5 years ago when they were freshmen at Crescent City University. So there we go. Danica surpasses her mother Sabine for next in line of the pack, the Scythe Moon Pack, which is the Crescent City pack, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, and the special family heirloom sword chose Danica over Mum.
Yes, that's how we know that it was that Danica outranks Sabine. So there's an archangel in charge of every city. And then I have a quote here. So each head controlled a specific part of the city. The Prime of the Wolves in Moonwood, the Fae, Autumn King, and Five Roses, the Underking in the Bone Quarter, the Viper Queen in the Meat Market, and the Oracle in the Old Square, and the River Queen in the House of Many Waters and her Blue Court in the river. So there's a bunch of different districts in the city that are all ruled by different people, essentially. The humans have no one to represent them.
Yeah. Slavery is also a thing.
Yes. Mostly reserved for it's really mostly the angels, which is funny. It's because the rebellion that we talked about.
Yeah, so and every sprite ever.
Yes, every sprite, because they also helped in the rebellion as well. Jezebel wants Bryce to find Luna's horn. It is an ancient Fey relic that was stolen recently. Bryce has a half brother named Rune. I love him. I love him. He's sassy. He's everything that 15-year-old me would have been so in love with, because he has like half a shaved head, really long hair, tattoos, piercings. Like he's everything that
we would have had
me
posters of him on our bedroom walls.
God, yeah. He's sassy, and I love him.
One thing with Rune as well is I'm guessing in appearance as well, just based on what like Autumn and like Bryce's coloring and stuff like that. I feel like he just favors his mother, not just magically, but in appearance too.
So, Rune has black hair, violet blue eyes, cheekbones that could kill a man, all that good stuff.
So he looks a bit like Reese, does he? Is that what you're telling me? He looks a bit like Reese?
All I'm saying is he has black hair and violet blue eyes, and he favors his mother's people. That's all I'm saying. Mara, don't look at me.
So what you're saying is he looks a lot like Reese.
I'm just saying he has violet blue eyes, Mara. I don't know what you're talking about.
What we're saying is that he looks like Reese.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he has pretty eyes.
I'm saying it.
Bryce's mom, Ember, is very overprotective. Randall's her stepdad. We stand Randall. He's a very famous human soldier. She's very good with guns because of him. Danica is also famous. We also learned that there are 7 gates in the city in each quarter. That are along ley lines. They are designed as a quick way for the guards to speak to each other centuries ago, but now it's like a funny, like the Trevi fountain. You put a quarter in it, you make a wish. That's how they are acted as now.
But like when you do that though, when you touch it, it takes like a little drop of
a little bit of your magic. We also learn about the drop at this point, which is a special thing that the veneer, the magical or the non-humans can do, where the aging process is slowed and their powers fully manifest. And we also get a lot more lore about like Fae can live about 1,000 years with the drop. Shifters and witches 500, angels somewhere between 500 and 1,000. Full humans did not do the drop because they don't have any magic. Bryce had really thought about where she'd fall on that spectrum with her half Fae heritage. She and Danica decided they were going to make the drop at 27 because it seemed like the perfect age to be immortal at.
Honestly, I just feel like that the reason given for that, I'm just like, this just feels like she just didn't want them to have made the drop yet, so she just tried.
So that we could have the dramatic drop at the end. Yeah, we have the dramatic drop later. But basically, you have to die to come back, and you have ascended essentially.
So like your body dies, your spirit falls down,
goes through something called your ordeal.
Yeah, you fall down to the bottom of your soul. You do the ordeal first, or whatever, and then you have to run up.
I will say it's not super clear. You can't do it alone or else you will die.
Look, I picture it as you just fall down a hole that has a spiral stack, like a spiral ramp going up the hole, and then you got to get to the bottom, have an argument with yourself, and then jump up and run up the ramp. I guess.
Yeah. So later we get home. Bryce discovers the pack of devils are there. They live in a shitty apartment, by the way, because it's all Bryce can afford. But Danica's like, whatever, I'll live with you. We flirt with Connor, and we learn that he has a little brother named Ethan. Ethan becomes very, very important for some reason. I don't know. He has a point of view next book. Whatever.
Okay.
And Therian, I think his name is. He has a point of view next book.
Oh, Therian. I don't know what a Therian is. What is Therian?
He's in this book.
Is he? Who is he?
He's one of the wolves.
No, the mermaid.
He's the mermaid. Okay.
Yeah, the mermaid's Therian. Ethan is one of the wolves.
Well, I thought they were both wolves. Sorry.
Thorn is a wolf.
Therian is a mermaid.
Well,
very obviously a mermaid.
Wait, I look. There are some similar names. When you said Therian, I thought you said Thorn, meant Thorn. Who died.
I don't even know who that is.
He was the Omega that Danica had, that him and Danica had.
Oh, they flirted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
But he dies, so it doesn't matter, right? It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
that's
He's
why I
dead.
don't remember any of the pack of devils except for Connor because he's still mentioned after the death. So Danica has not been on a date in 3 years. Important to note. Bryce goes on a date. Connor's like, pick me, choose me, love me, and she's like, okay, I guess.
But next week.
Yeah,
I'll
but
pick you
next
next
week. Yeah, I'll pick you next week. Tonight, I'm gonna go party. And then she texts everyone. She's like, hey guys, I'm gonna go party at my favorite club. I'll see y'all in the morning. And like, this is not abnormal. She's young, she's parties. Like, that's how her and her friends do.
Because what, she's like 21?
She's 23.
23, yeah. There we
Yeah,
go.
so like she's at a prime partying age. Have fun, girlfriend. She thinks about Connor, about she's been into him for 5 years, and she's like super drunk and like on drugs.
She
coming
bangs
home.
some guy in the bathroom. She's
Yes,
like,
she
well,
does
I'm
bang
not,
some guy.
I'm
I'm not in
yeah,
a
she's
relationship.
like, well, yet. So
I don't know.
one
I'm
last
not mad at her
hurrah.
for that. I'm not mad at her
No.
for that because she's not in
And
a relationship.
Yeah, and she texts Danica to be like, hey, just did a bangy bang, don't tell Connor. And
Danica's like, oh my god, you bad bitch. Like, it's fine.
But then the plan also is that Danica like ends up messaging her a whole bunch of times as well, being like, me and Connor are going to come out as soon as the pack night's done. We'll be there soon. Love you. Once the boys leave, we're going.
Yeah.
And
then she gets back to the apartment. Doors open. It reeks of blood. She finds Danica on her bed in pieces.
And everyone else.
Yeah, everyone is ripped to shreds. This thing comes out of the apartment. She chases it. It's feasting on some angel and Bryce.
The way I kind of picture this thing is like a golem without the hair and bigger. Like person size.
Yeah, about.
She calls the police. It hasn't fully hit her yet about Danica. A character named Isaiah, who's Hunt's friend, shows up and is like,
as well.
Yeah,
like, he's
and
kind
Hunt's
of like
also
his,
there.
Yeah, they're kind of like detective partners.
Yeah,
I guess.
And next we are now with Hunt and Isaiah. Bryce is catatonic in the interrogation room, and they're like, "Oh, she's not talking." We get our info about Hunt, that he is the Umbra Mortis, the assassin, the spooky guy.
I will say as well, I do think that they portrayed her shock when she's making that call to the police or whatever. I feel like that was well done because she's like, I need help, and they're like, where are you? And she's like, I need help, where are you? And then she's like, oh, phone number, and then she just keeps repeating this number, being like, trace it, here's the number, and she just kept repeating it. I'm like, I can see that happening. She's had a night because she's also still high. She's
high and drunk off her ass. Adrenaline is pumping through her body because she just had her thigh torn open.
And her best friend's dead.
She's trying to resuscitate a giant angel guy. Like she's having a time. Hey, baby boy.
Like his chest is open. It was like the thing was trying to eat his heart. Is what it was described as. And
yeah. So Hunt staple gunned her leg back together because he went all like commander mode and was like, oh, she's injured. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's important later, but doesn't matter. Hunt is a demon killer. He hunts down demons that come through the Northern Rift. Danica's mom comes in like, I want to kill Bryce.
And where's my sword?
And where's my sword? Yeah, whatever.
That is Sabine's main line thing for the rest of the book is, where's my sword?
Where's my sword? Where's my sword? It's in my fucking apartment, bitch.
No, it's
at Jezebel's, yeah.
I will say as well, almost every time until like about 2/3 of the way through the book, every time Sabine was mentioned, I forgot who she was until I came up with where's my sword.
And you're like, oh, this bitch. Yep. Sabine thinks Bryce took the sword. She's like, Danica dead, whatever. Then Bryce is silent.
And then some random Fae guy walks in. They're like, oh, look, it's the chosen one, Princey dude. And he's like, where's my cousin? I want a cousin.
Where's my cousin? And they're like, oh, shit. He goes, and this is a TikTok audio. It's Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Valbaran Fae. I love him. Son of the Autumn King and current possessor of the Star Sword, fabled dark blade of the ancient starborn Fae. Anyways, they're
like Night Court Fae? Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
he's not. What do you mean? What do you mean, Night Court Fae?
Like Star Court Fae, Night Court Fae, same thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I will say as well, like one thing that actually kind of annoyed me in this scene, right, though, was like Hunt is like, oh, she must be a distant cousin because the king doesn't
They
have
look
any siblings.
nothing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
But also,
you
they look nothing
like
alike.
my mind just automatically. I know, but my mind also went to like, you do know he has a mother, right? You do know he has a mother, right?
Yeah. Oh god, I can't wait till next week.
It just
when I can reveal
like
all my
that
secrets.
it just always annoys me, like when they forget that, like, you know, a second parent, because this happens in a few different things, or like in TV shows or movies as well. It's like, oh, this is my cousin.
Like,
oh,
I
thought your dad was an only child. Yeah, but I have a mother who has 8.
Yeah.
Siblings,
Rune
like, it's fine.
and Hunt have a history. They do not like each other. They get in fights a lot. It's a whole thing.
What I'm realizing as we're talking about this is that I like Rune a lot better than I like Hunt.
I love Rune.
I like Rune.
I fucking
I like
love
Rune.
him.
I like him a lot.
Well, that's so funny because you were texting about him. You were like, "Who the fuck is this?" And you're like, "I don't like this guy."
I feel like
that was earlier along in my read, though. Like at this point, as I got on, every time Rune was on page, I was like, "Thank God, we have something to like talk to. Like we have something interesting to do." Because I don't know, I think Hunt and Rune are supposed to have like about the same energy, and Rune just does a better job of it. I don't know.
You'll love his next book.
I'm just my biggest issue with Rune this book is like I don't know why we're in his head.
No, there's no reason. It's the only reason I said this to her too. I think the only reason we're in his head is to establish that we are not just going to be in the love interests and the main character's head. I think that's the only reason we're in his head. Next book we're in 5 heads.
Because I don't think there's anything that happened. The only thing that we get from his head, right, in this book is that him and what's-her-face develop a rapport and a bit of some sort of relationship and whatever before he finds out that she's the new queen. But then if they're not even going to be a thing, then what's the fucking point?
I don't understand. Like I said, I think it's only just to establish, hey, we're going to have more perspectives than just the standard male-female characters.
Yeah, I guess the other thing as well is like when he tells Bryce, I can't believe you thought I would care about that more than I love you. We believe him because we're there when he found that out and had the thought.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, part 2, The Trench, 22 months later. Ooh, it's so exciting. She just got done blanking some guy in the bathroom at the Raven, but she has to do a business meeting. She has not drank since Danica's death or done drugs or anything, but no one knows that. Juniper and Fury really don't talk to her much anymore. Juniper sometimes, Fury not at all. She doesn't have any friends. She meets with a vampire, and he starts getting handsy. Yeah, and Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the... Anyways, he comes in. He's tatted. He's beautiful. He's there because
he's like, how absolutely dare you.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Dad says to lay low. They spat. She has a new apartment that Danica had in secret and gave to Bryce in her will.
Yep. Also throughout this book as well, there's just mentions of they used to be really close. Like
they were close when she was a teenager.
Really, yeah. And then they haven't been for years.
Yeah, and it's because he called her a whore.
Because of something he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we even been told what started that argument? Like what started the argument?
The only time they talk about it is in this book.
Because I'm wondering if it's going to be like the same as what's her face's is it the same as Nesta and Amryn, where like we get a gist of what happened?
You get a gist of what the argument is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I just tell me how it started. Okay, that's all I want to know. Just how they started.
I don't know. I know it ended with him calling her a whore, and then she got mad.
Yeah.
All of her fights, essentially. Hunt is being broody. That's it. He has 2,217 kills he has to atone for, and he's done 82. His first name is Orion. That's all we learned about him. Isaiah and Hunt come. It's his middle name. It's Orion
it?
Hunt Athalar. Yeah.
That's a bit on the nose.
Oh
'cause
my
Orion's
God.
a hunter. Orion's a hunter.
Yeah. I can only assume that once we learn his parentage, we'll understand.
Bubba, are you okay?
He hurt himself.
Yes. Sorry. Sometimes he itches his ears really hard and then
Ow!
he yelps.
Meanwhile, Otto's hurting me.
Dogs are so stupid.
Yeah, they really.
And
Animals are so
don't
stupid.
stop itching yourself. Please knock it off.
So Hunt and Isaiah are like, we gotta chat. She's like, no thanks. Hunt was like, hey, someone was just murdered the same way your best friend was murdered. And she's like, okay, come in, please. So they all chat. It was Maximus, the vampire, that was killed right after their meeting. Hunt assumes she's just a party girl because she dresses provocatively and she's notorious for being a party girl. Like, that's what she's known for. And also the drugs in her system last time he met her was a lot. Hunt is then like, Micah is on his way here. Micah being the archangel of their city. Bryce calls Jezebel like, hi, Umbra Mortis in your shop right now. And Jezebel's like, fuck's sake. Okay. So they all get on a conference call, they like a FaceTime on a giant TV. Then Micah is referred to as lethally hot. He's like, I want Bryce to find the murderer. And they're all like, you what? I'm a civilian. And Jezebel's like, she's my employee. You can't just commandeer her. And Micah's like, I'm the archangel. I'll do whatever the fuck I want, whatever. It's because she's the only one that has survived a skirmish with the demon thing. I don't think they know it's a demon yet. Buddy.
Oh, of course, Mike is blonde, by the way.
Yes, he is, of course, blonde. He wants this taken care of because Sandrielle, which is the twin sister of Hunt's dead lover and whatever. She's
also his former owner.
Yeah, she is coming because there's a giant, the summit. It's where all the archangels and the Asteri meet for like an annual conference.
And all the leaders of everything.
And she's bringing Pollux, who becomes very big. You'll get to know Pollux very well.
Excellent.
The hand, the hind, the harpy. You'll get to know all of them pretty well.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So, yeah, the summit is going to be happening, and they want it all
in a month or something like that, or 2 months.
Yeah, they want it all fixed before then.
Yes, the hind is also mentioned, real name Lydia, who is a spy / hunter / breaker. She is dating Pollux. We do not like Pollux. We will never like Pollux.
Okay.
Excellent. He is kind of like her. She's the hand, he's the sword.
Away.
Effectively. Cats don't care about your distaste for their buttholes.
I
okay?
know. They just are like, Mommy, look at my butthole. The harpy also exists. Micah is like, you report to Isaiah. Hunt is your bodyguard. Bye. But that's also so he's not around when Sandriel and Co show up because they have history. Oh my God, this fucking
cat.
He's so needy. Later, Micah is like, if you do this, I'll reduce your kills to 10 total. Also, don't have sex with her or I'll cut off your penis. And this is where we learn that their penises can grow back.
Yes, by the way.
Well, it's because his wings get cut off later.
Yeah, is this just angels?
Yes, it's just angels.
Okay.
Or no, it might be anyone who's made the drop.
But I'm
Yeah,
really
it's
happy to know that
yeah.
if his penis gets cut off, it'll come back.
Yeah,
Well,
anybody part
ow,
of theirs
mother
that gets cut
trucker.
off will come back.
It's anyone that's made the drop. Bryce and Jezebel chat. She goes down to the cellar, the secret library place. Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the... Anyways, that's literally what I have in my notes. Every time he comes on screen, it's Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the blah. The TikTok audio. He's knocking at dear old Dad's door. He's like, Isaiah came to talk to me this morning. You know, Dad's like, I don't have to tell you shit. Dad's like, that girl, Bryce, is a hazard. And then we get some backstory onto his relationship with his father. Beyond his starborn gifts, the bulk of his magic skewed towards his mother's kin, the Fae who ruled Avalon, the mist-shrouded isle in the north, the sacred heart of the Faedom. His father would have burned Avalon to ashes if he could. That Rune did not possess his father's flames of both the Valbar and Fae, that he instead possessed Avalon abilities more than Rune ever let on, to summon and walk through shadows. was an unforgivable insult.
Yeah, we
Yes.
noticed.
Rune
So
is
you're
just a
telling
guy,
me he's
guys.
Reese?
No, he's just a guy.
No, he's
Um,
What are you
not.
telling me? He's Reese's cousin somehow, like very
No,
distant.
he's just
however.
a guy.
What you're telling me is he's related to Reese.
You're
somehow.
telling me that
Okay.
like two R names with like weirdly
Okay,
placed
fine.
H's.
The fan theory is that he is Reese's half brother. That's the theory. I'm not getting into it any
Oh.
further. I'm not getting into it any further.
Please get into it.
Nope, next week. I'll talk about next week. I'll talk about all my
Okay,
theories
well,
next week.
Well, okay.
Anyways,
Sounds good.
we're almost halfway through the book. By the way, we're almost halfway through.
This is what we were saying as well. Like the plot is incredibly
Fine.
simple.
Fine, I'll just say it since you're texting me telling me to say the theory. So the theory is that Tamlin's father didn't end up killing Reese's mother, that she
Okay.
escaped somewhere, and that she's Rune's mom.
Okay.
Because we see Rune's mom like once, and she's very catatonic. So that would kind of lend towards we can't get any information
Well,
from her. So
also-
if they are half
But
siblings,
is she Illyrian?
She
Oh.
is
She's
but,
Illyrian though, right?
The wings were cut off though.
Because
Yeah, her wings
here's
were
the
cut
thing.
off.
The Illyrians are the ones that are like described
Wait.
as looking
No,
non
no, I was wrong. Rune is his nephew. That's the theory. Is Rune is his nephew because
Okay.
it's Reese's sister that is.
Yeah.
That's the theory.
Okay.
Because she doesn't have
You
wings.
You know what?
I was
I
gonna
think
say, like-
either would work though.
Yeah.
Either would
Nephew
work.
makes more sense, but I was also gonna say that like the Bat Boys are described as looking a lot more non than like Hunt and
So Rune, I'll send you the picture of Rune. So that way, hopefully, you all can fangirl over his hotness as much as I do. Because I fuck
Ooh.
everyone else except for maybe Cassie.
Does that Instagram account that we were looking at the
Yes,
fan art for,
that's
does
exactly
that
what
have
I'm
a-
about to send you.
Okay.
I'm about to send
'Cause
you
I
Rune
want to
from
see
that.
hers. 'Cause I think it's a her.
Hers is my
whoever-
headcanon.
'Cause her
God,
fan
I'm
art
just
is fucking,
I'm too
like,
busy
phenomenal.
staring at him. I need to stop. I'll just stare at Rune all night. Anyways, then Dad's like, we need to
Okay.
get
Oh,
married.
that's a lot better than the other fan arts I've seen.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
yes.
Yeah. People's fan art of SJM books are bad. It's bad most of the time. Rune is
Well,
like, over
you know
my dead
what?
body.
You know
You're gonna
what?
marry the new witch queen.
Like,
I'm telling you, 15-year-old me would be crying right now.
yeah, same.
I think 33-year-old me is crying right
Sobbing. Dad is like, hey, find the horn. Like calls to like, son, find it.
now. That
Dun, dun,
jawline, by
dun.
the way.
I
That
I was like,
jawline.
oh,
I know. I've been looking.
I like it. I
Anyways.
like a nice jaw.
Rune, I need book 3 now. I need it to be 6 months from right now, like immediately. Anyways,
Okay, well, should we put you in a coma?
please God, just Syrinx, the chimera pet, the cute little baby, is a troublemaker, but we stand.
What? Look, I
Syrinx
love
is just my cat, Otto.
I love
He's just
them
Otto.
with Syrinx, right? Because like Syrinx is like he's sentient. He's a thing. He's technically owned, right? But
Yes, he's technically he was a slave, but Bryce, we don't know this yet, but Bryce bought him out, so that
Yeah.
way he wouldn't
We
be
know this.
enslaved anymore.
Not
yet.
But
but
Not
yes,
yet. We don't
but
know.
yeah, she does.
but he
No,
Because
not
I
yet.
know it.
No,
But, like,
I'm saying we don't yet.
Okay. I
yeah,
thought you
but
meant, like,
with
at the end of this book.
No.
but like
I was
when
like,
we say
there's a whole
he's
scene.
her
It's like
pet,
they're bonded.
Yeah.
he's her pet because he chooses to be her pet.
Yeah.
He does what
Well,
he
and
will because when
She
he
doesn't
chooses.
know that Chimera can unlock doors and teleport, but Hunt finds this
I
out the
like-
hard
I-
way.
I really enjoyed like when he just calls Isaiah and he's like, "Did you know?" that
I
chimeras
see.
can
That's
teleport?"
why I like Hunt. This is why I like Hunt.
Because I
That's why I
do.
like him a lot because he's
'Cause-
like, it's like morning. He has not slept, and he's just had a chimera sitting there.
Like, and
He
he's
almost
watching
falls
her through the
asleep,
window across the road.
and she's being a bitch. And he's like, I almost fell asleep, and then this chimera teleported next to me, woke my ass up by scratching me, and
And then bit my
I-
ass. Yeah, he
I'm
beat his
tired.
ass.
Isaiah, please
like-
help me. I'm tired.
Yeah,
like
he's like,
that's
do you know how sharp those teeth are? Because I do,
Yeah.
because they were just embedded in my butt cheeks.
Syrinx loves him though. Syrinx is obsessed.
Now, Syrinx was a little bit like, who the fuck
Yes.
are you and why are you here? And
I
which is why he
do
beat him in the
always
ass.
love the trope of like female
the reluctant
love
male.
interest, male like main character's pet is obsessed with the love interest.
Yeah.
Is
And then-
one of my favorite tropes.
And then the next morning, Bryce is going to get her nails done, and he's calling Isaiah again. And he's like, "I can't do this anymore. I
She's
can't do
getting
this."
a
It's
manicure.
been- and
Why?
we're supposed to be investigating a murder, and she's getting her nails done after she went for like a 5-mile jog. Help me! And Isaiah's like, "You're gonna have sex with her, aren't you?" And he's like, "I hate you. We're not friends anymore, and I hate you."
her. I hate this. I hate everything.
It's
Just
I
give me
like it.
2,000 people to kill. Just give me 2,000
Yeah,
people to
yeah.
kill, and we'll be done.
I love it. I like his banter. I think he's a funny guy. Rune wakes up high. Bryce shows up and he's like, "Am I hallucinating that you're here?" And she's like, "Oh God, here's some water." So we meet Rune's pals, Flynn and Declan. I like them. They're fun. She's like, "Rune, we need to chat." She's like, "What's the Viper Queen been up to? We need to chat." And Rune's like, "You're crazy." So she leaves. He sees that she's with Hunt and he's like, "Oh no, they have a spat." Rune is like, "Don't let her go to the Viper Queen." And he's like, "She wants to do what now?" So,
I
reveals-
did love that like Rune was like, haha, I knew things that you don't know.
yeah, I know.
That was funny to me.
Later, Bryce gives Hunt a list of Danica's known enemies and reveals what she did that day. She got her nails done by Maximus's girlfriend, the dead guy's girlfriend, and girlfriend confirms that Danica didn't know him because that's the only reason she said yes is because Micah was like, "Danica knew Maximus," and she's like, "No, I know my best friend. My best friend did not know Maximus." Anyways, he was killed just outside the Viper Queen's territory, and she also pulled all of her people back before the murder. And Viper Queen, it's literally snake people, by the way. Snake shifters, snake people.
Yeah,
She's also like
wolves are not the only shifters. Like the guy that she's banging.
No, it's all-
at the beginning of the time jump is.
I still want
He's
to
a lion
know
shifter.
if fucking she was talking out loud like the Lion King.
It's never brought up
bothering-
again.
It bothers me so much.
No one talks in shifted form again ever.
Tells me that I don't know. Like, were they talking telepathically? Is she?
I
also
think it's
receiving-
telepathically. I think it's telepathically.
Well, there is some telepathic communication later in the book.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
I'm guessing it's that.
So she yeets to the Viper Queen, and he's like really pissed off at her. He makes a big scene falling down from the sky, and she's like, "You're late, you dumbass. Come on, we have an appointment."
Let's go.
And it's
We're busy.
I like their early days banter. Their early days banter is good because the
Early
like
days.
she's like, "I expected you here 3 minutes ago, you numpty." She wanted him to make a big entrance, which he did. She's like, "I know
I
what
like
we're
that you
doing. We're
said
not
numpty.
here."
That makes my heart happy.
I say numpty a lot.
Yeah, we
we're
use
here to
Numpty a lot because of you.
We're not here to contact
Excellent.
the Viper Queen. Hunt is like, "Oh, she knows her way around this. That's weird."
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I just really do a really quick off-topic side tangent that's related to like what was just said about numpty?
Yeah.
Be prepared for like the next generation that is up and coming to be speaking a lot of Australian slang, and I'll tell you why. Bluey.
Is
Bluey has
Bluey
taken the world by
Australian?
yes. Just
Ah,
listen to it. Of course, Bluey's Australian.
so I know
You
a lot
don't
of
watch
people watch
kids
Bluey.
show. I don't have a small child.
Dogs.
Yeah, once I have a baby, I'm gonna be watching Bluey. But like I
Because
have a baby
it is
first.
very. Yeah,
It's
it is very
apparently, like,
Aussie.
Well, apparently it's
It's
also
so
like
good.
an incredible kid show.
It is so good. I love
Mine'll be
it.
watching.
And camping made me sob. By the way, the episode camping it made me sob.
I've
The one
heard
with
that it
Jean-Luc.
makes people cry.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You
what
know
is this show?
You know what? It's fine. Just go watch camping. Like the episodes, I think are only about 5 or 10 minutes long. They're not long at all. Just go watch camping, and you will be sobbing, sobbing.
Jesus. Okay. Bryce goes to buy salt, like summoning salt, obsidian, and it's illegal, but Hunt is disturbed and aroused by her threatening this guy. When they leave, the Viper Queen is standing there, and she's like, "Oh, we're just leaving." A Viper Queen's like, "No, you're not. Umbra Mortis, Bryce Quinlan, you're coming with me." And she's like, I did this. She tells Hunt, she's like, I did this so that way the Viper Queen would come to me. That way we don't have to wait for a meeting with her. She comes to me. So Bryce is very savvy. The Viper Queen gives him a flash drive with her orgy alibi and then says, look where it hurts the most. So I wrote down, I was like, does that mean she knows that Danica was actually the killer the whole time?
Maybe?
I don't know. Viper Queen
would say
might.
so.
Because if Maximus died right outside her, she would know that he ripped himself to shreds. Like, they have
Maybe. Yeah.
CCTV. Like, she has to have known the Danica.
Well, none of this stuff happens on camera, though.
That is true. Because otherwise Declan would have found it.
When she says "look where it hurts the most," that's how I take it. Because also, like, but also might be clouded by you told me. Imagine your best friend died and you find out you knew nothing about them. I'm like, right, so it's all Danica's fault.
But I mean, I think that should be the blurb for this book. Is if there's like a one-liner for this book, it's literally that for this whole series. Really, at this point, it's crazy. Anyways, next day at work, Bryce can't make the list of Danica's movements of the last week of her life because it makes her really sad. We discover that there's trashy reality TV in this universe. I love it. It doesn't take me out of it. It makes me happy. Because her and Hunt like watch it together. It's really cute. Anyways, she lets Hunt in, puts Lily downstairs. Again, Lily's like, I want to stare at the pretty angel boy, and I love her. I love
Mahaba is like the horniest character in this book.
I know, but her death makes me cry every fucking time.
Look.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, and part of this might have been like the voice the narrator chose for her as well.
Oh god, was it annoying?
It was kind of childlike-ish, right? It was like high pitched, but her like sacrificing herself, and she's like, "I'm not afraid, and my friends are with me. I'm not afraid, and my friends are with me."
It hurts.
It reminded me. I know that. I started to rewatch The 100 because I forgot just what a shit show season 7 was, and now I'm going to be stuck watching season 7 of The 100. But in the first season,
The 100?
Because I was like, Game of Thrones is done, and oh look, The 100 just came up as like another like equally like where everyone starts off in the pilot like all happy and everything's great, and then it all goes.
Oh, and all the actors are dead by the end. Yeah,
and it just gets more and more depressing as the show goes on. And I don't know, I'm in a vibe for that kind of show, I guess, where like everyone's happy until their lives are ruined, and they never get better.
Might I suggest Attack on Titan?
Okay,
okay, real quick, side tangent. So
yeah,
back in like January, it was leaked that the voice actors were recording for that episode that came out in March, right? And then the episode came out in March. It just leaked a couple weeks ago that they're recording for the last part of the last part. So we should get it in the next 3 months.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna die. Anyway.
But in the first season, there's this little girl named Charlotte. She gets sent down. She was 12 years old, and she's been sent down to this shithole, and she's terrified of everything. She's really traumatized from her parents being killed on the Ark, all that stuff. And Bellamy's like trying to comfort her, and he's like, whenever you have your nightmares, you just say, "Screw you, I'm not afraid." And this little girl is heartbreaking, right? And she ends up killing someone and then killing herself. Like, it's a really tragic story.
Jeez.
But one of the lines she keeps repeating to herself the whole time, like throughout the 2 or 3 episodes she's in, is just "Screw you, I'm not afraid." And that's what Lily's like self-sacrifice reminded me of, because she was just like, "I'm not afraid and my friends are with me," and they have this similar voice, and then Charlotte was like, "Screw you, I'm not afraid," and their voices are the same, and I'm like,
I think that's more. It does tug my heartstrings. She's so sweet. She's just a horny little flame, you know, like God.
All she wants to do is hang out with the hot boys and flirt with them.
I know, and can you blame her? Come on. So we learn that downstairs is all contraband books, last of their kind to exist, that the Asteri like burned or like just generally destroyed over the years. She lets Lily out, and Hunt and her immediately mutually flirt with each other, and it is amazing and hilarious. Then
I don't know if this was important enough to note later on when we actually are told all this, but the reason the books are banned is because they say that the Fae moved to this world 1,500 years ago, are not from there, and it more or less questions the inferiority of humans and questions the superiority of the Fae and the angels.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They came from another place, according to these books.
Talking about. The books are wrong. I don't know what you're talking
about.
Are
the angels actually angels, or are they like seraphim?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because
I actually don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think that they're Fae. I think that they're just genuinely angels, but I don't know where they're from. I have no idea. Wait, no, I do know where they're from. I do know. It doesn't matter. You'll find out next book. It's nowhere that y'all know. It's not fun. It's not a fun answer.
Okay, then where?
I don't have an answer. They're from. I don't have the answer to where they're from. Anyways, the theory also is that Amren is an Asteri or is a dragon shifter, which lines up with Mara what you want her to be, dragon shifter. But there's another theory that she's an Asteri, which both are amazing in my opinion. And maybe in the next ACOTAR book we'll fucking find out.
Maybe.
Probably not. Anyways, so he.
Oh, speaking of the next ACOTAR book, really quickly. Sorry, not the really quick tangent. Someone fucked with me the other day.
Oh my god! And said that it was from fucking Baron's point of view.
Yes, and then I looked in the comments and I was just like, "Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine?" And I was like, "Oh, thank Christ, it's not actually."
Yeah.
It's not actually.
The only reason I would ever want Baron's point of view is for him to find out that Lucian's not his son. That's the only reason I would want his point of view for like literally just like 3 paragraphs.
Just that scene.
Just the pure rage that his wife cheated on him with a god of a man.
Well, anyways. I mean, that said, we've kind of got a hint as to what that would look like when the Autumn King finds out that like that Bryce is like a starlight.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that scene's so good. Anyways, so Hunt later is like, so I thought you were loaded, and she's like, nope, Danica, I'm in heavy debt to Jezebel. It's a whole thing. I'll be paying off my debt for Syrinx till I'm 300. So they start making the list of Danica's final movements. We learned that Bryce has killed someone before, but not the full details, only that it was on some trip, and it was the first time Danica told her she loved her. Because Danica had a thing where she never told her friends that she loved them.
She never told anyone.
Yeah, she never told anyone. Rune asks her to meet at Luna's temple where the horn was stolen. Rune Danon, Crown Prince of the Valbaran Fae, is really happy that Bryce showed up, even if it's with the winged asshole. He encompasses the 3 of them in shadows. So weird, right?
So weird. All the shadows and stuff. Oh my god. Can't like
he talks about the horn and shows a book that depicts the horn being used against the demon that killed Danica. It's called a Crystallos. How did they say in the book? Crystallos?
Crystallos.
Yeah.
The was the emphasized. Yeah.
Okay. The horn can also summon demons.
The second that you ask me questions like that, I'm like,
Well, it's fine because when you asked me what veneer were, I was like, "What do you mean? What is that?"
What is
and there was one character.
Well, because I didn't know how to spell it. So,
well, there's another character that you're like, "Is this character important?" And I was like, "Who's that character?" And you're like, "I take it they die." And I was like, "I guess."
They did die.
Rune can track the horn because like calls to like. Isn't that a weird phrase?
Yeah, I can't imagine where that came from. Maybe the Mommy Land.
Y'all. Anyways,
I'm not gonna lie as well. I think I'm wondering if like, and I just didn't pay any attention, but like, because towards the end he's like, whenever I tried to search for the horn, I just ended up with Bryce.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was the point of his POV to kind of like give like the foreshadowing, and I just wasn't paying any attention.
That might be
like calls to like.
Sorry, because I paid 0 attention to the fact that like I had forgotten. I don't think that registered that every time he was like, okay, I'm gonna find the horn. Oh look, there's Bryce. I don't think I paid any attention to that. But maybe that might have been it, just for some foreshadowing.
Yeah. Hunt calls one of his fellow servants to Micah and is like, I need you to research this demon. Bryce and Rune, they're like, this is just us working together. This changes nothing between us because I'm a half-breed slut. And he's like, yeah, I didn't mean it. I love you. And she's like, I don't care. Anyway.
I was mad. We were arguing. We say things that we don't mean when we're angry. And she's like, I don't care. Fuck you. Which, I think that was just her excuse. I don't think she's actually been mad at him this whole time.
She doesn't really read as mad as mad at him.
Yeah, she doesn't read as mad as like I haven't spoken to him in like what 5 years or something. I'm not mad at him.
Yeah. So we learn. So she goes back to Jezebel's office later, and we learn about the fancy angel killer gun.
Yeah.
There's been another murder, and Hunt is like, let's go. She's like, no thanks, but he takes her anyways. It doesn't go well. Rune is like, you brought her here, you idiot. And he later is like, I'm sorry, you know, how did you survive that night when it was trying to kill Micah? And she's like, I saved Micah that night, like Archangel Micah. And they keep chatting. He's like, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, because for the past 2 years, she's trying to find out how the fuck the angel is.
Yeah, and turns out it was the Asteri chosen Archangel of their city. And he's like, I'm sorry for a lot of things, but I'm also sorry. But I'm also sorry that you're on my suspect list. And she's like, you're an ass. Then we see part of the memory where Bryce kills someone. She goes to the White Raven.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we at the point of the book where like one of them will actually finally admit like, oh, I was there and hey, I remember you being there that night?
Not yet.
Okay. Because she remembers him being there, but she doesn't want to bring it up. And he obviously would remember that he was there because he wasn't attacked and high. But he doesn't think she remembers, so he never brings it up. Until it gets brought up.
Yeah. It gets brought up during her surgery.
Okay.
Yeah. Hunt goes in and is like, I ducked up. That's what he goes into the White Raven. I can't say that. Real bad. He sits with her. Juniper shows up. He discovers that she's only been drinking water. She's never drank in the past 2 years. And then the club explodes. Bryce stupidly jumps over Juniper to protect her, but Juniper's like, I made the drop, you dumbass. I would have been fine. You haven't made the drop. So Rune and Hunt get them out. Hunt takes her to Rune's place to fix her up. She's like, I want to go home. Rune comes in like, it's not great. The human rebels seem to have done it. It looks like the main characters, were the target. Rune is like, the Autumn King wants you to have a live-in guard. I volunteered. And she's like, nope, Hunt's going to do it instead. And we officially partnered with Rune and his BFFs for this whole investigation. Bryce and Hunt go back to their apartment. She's like, I really don't want to make the drop, not without her. Connor and I were almost something, but I think I died that day too. That scene hurts. Mom calls her and it's adorable. I love her mom. Hunt and Bryce make up and are going to start on a new leaf. Hunt goes to the guest room and fanboys over the fact that Randall is her stepdad because Randall is famous. Syrinx is cuddling him the next morning. Bryce isn't awake yet, but Juniper comes in like, hi. And he's like, hello. And it's very awkward. And
because like he's shirtless, he's, you know.
Yeah, he's made himself at home.
Yeah, like he slept in a comfy way.
He's like, it's not what it looks like, maybe.
He's like, I would like it to be, but I wouldn't because I'm still emotionally unavailable from my ex. But it's fine.
My ex who died like 200 years ago, but like whatever.
And also
she only died 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Only 40 years ago. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but he's like 300 or 400 years old, so that's like a big part of his. It's not like that long of a time for him.
Also, he also just doesn't want it to be penisless for 2 months until it grows back.
It's true. It's very true. Which it's funny that wings grow back faster than penises. But whatever. We discover from Declan later that Danica was stationed at the temple when the horn was stolen. We get some lore that seems tied to Akatar. Why didn't I write the lore down? Dumb bitch. What part of the book are we at? Hang on, I gotta find it.
Good work.
About halfway through the book, right? Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I opened it right to it, guys.
Excellent. Good job.
Good for you.
Yeah, last night. Okay. Fyro, hang on.
What's our lore that's maybe supposedly tied to Akatar? We guess.
It's not, guys. I swear.
According to the
the
sacred text.
I didn't flip right to it. I am opening the fucking tome trying to find it. Shit. What is the last thing that happened? Okay.
Yeah, if you could choose it to his
can you
stick
command
and the
F
kingdom,
Declan for me?
It would be.
What's the spelling of Declan in this? Is it normal or weird?
DCLAN.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
normal.
fine. Okay. What chapter?
I'm close. I don't have chapters written down.
Okay, so I've got
I'm close.
Wait,
I know,
what immediately happened prior to you writing that? What was your previous
Juniper? We were talking about Juniper.
No,
like,
so they talk about can't stop thinking about her in lingerie. Them and Rhea in the downstairs library. We discovered from Declan that Danica was stationed at the temple when the horn was stolen.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Can I see the Star Sword? Blah blah blah.
More hacking, Declan. Shit, technology.
See the oracle about the horn. I think this is it.
Oh wait, okay. So Declan's back. Declan strode for the Magistration. Blah blah. Declan growled the demon hunting is a front.
You need to have the horn, or you need to be starborn to use the horn. That's one thing that happens.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's around chapter 37, I think.
What does that have to do with the horn? So, yes. It mentions here that sacred objects were made only for Fae like them, that the horn worked only when the starlight flowed through it when it was filled with power. This claims that the starborn magic, in addition to a bunch of other crap, can be channeled through sacred objects, bringing them to life.
And don't you think I didn't notice as well, like there was a reference about like the sword. There's also a dagger. There's a dagger. There's a friend of the sword, which is a dagger.
Yeah, whose dagger is it, Mara?
I don't know. I wonder. But yeah, I was just like, oh, okay.
No, really, whose dagger is it?
I'm not telling you.
I
know whose dagger it is. Y'all should probably figure out whose dagger it is.
I can't figure it out though. Whose is it?
Oh no, you tell me. Whose dagger is it, ladies?
Cassian's, obviously.
It's not Cassian's. Cassian doesn't have a dagger.
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I read dagger, I'm like, oh, I can't even remember his name now, but like his. I can't. What the fuck is his name?
That's why there's and I've told you this before. It is his dagger. That's why I told you guys before. There's the big theory that Bryce and Asriel are meant to end up together somehow, some way. I don't know.
Oh, because of the dagger and the sword?
Because he was chosen by the dagger and she's chosen by the sword. But they're not. You know. So I don't know. But there's.
I mean, she's gonna have to give. No hate to Asriel, but she's gonna have to. Asriel's gonna have to get a whole lot more personality.
Also, though, she's gonna have to get really creative as to how that's gonna work. That'd have to be really creative, and that's why I also say there's no way we can solve the storyline in another book. There's no way we solve the storyline.
Okay. I'm okay with us.
It's very simple. She's literally a walking portal opener. So they can just be like, we'll live here. We'll live here in the summer. We'll live there in the winter, and then they just.
But how does she meet him, Mara? How does she meet Asriel?
She's a walking portal opener.
Yes, but she doesn't know what Prithian is.
She has a dream and opens a portal in her dream.
Yeah, okay, that happens in the final book. See, that's also why I don't think that. I think there's a big theory that Hunt's not the endgame, but I don't see how Hunt can't.
Look, if this happens, shush for a second, because I'll tell you how this happens, right? I'll tell you how this happens. This book kind of like, she's like, I'm like, this series ends with like, I'm a strong, independent woman. I'm going to strong, independent woman myself, and then the next Akatar book comes out, and it's Azrael, and he's like, and he's just sitting there doing his like trainee shit up in the
what, and then Bryce Quinlan walks
and then like
in
random portal.
Jesus, no, it's not happening. No, it's not happening. Anyways, time to go to the barracks to get Hunt's shit.
Faye's theory.
This is the start.
Oh,
okay,
I was just gonna say, while Hunt is passable, I'm not so like on board with him that if he got dethroned, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing is like every time you ask me about him, I'm like, yeah, he's a fine love interest. Like he's fine. They have really cute stuff that happens, but I'm kind of here for chaos.
He's fine.
So let's go. Because they're about to do a really cute thing. They start taking photos of each other, and it is really cute. She's like, you have 30 photos in your phone for the last 4 years, and 30 of them are dead bodies. So she takes a selfie, and it's the start of a really cute trend.
Wait, if Bryce ends up in like Prithian, right? Is it going to be a bit like Outlander, where she's like, "Where am I, and why is it so primitive?" Because
why are there all these bad paintings everywhere?
Why are all these bad paintings everywhere? Yes. Who is this Renesmee-esque child? Depending. I don't know. See, I don't know.
She's from like the modern world, right? And they're still living in like the medieval era.
Listen, I don't think
they do have toilets.
I don't think SJM will go that far. You know, I don't think she'll go that far.
But the medieval era still also had toilets in their castles, because like when you see like those little like just those little round bits that like just stick out of a tower, just like a small, like it looks like it's to the height of a room. It's a bit wider than a toilet. That is a toilet, and that the bottom of that is hollow, and you just sit over it, and shit falls down the bottom.
Yep. No, I don't think SJM would do that. I don't think she's gonna go that far. There's no way. Why? Because there's one book left in this series.
She said
no way.
Over.
She said in an interview last year or at a convention or something
that
they are all in this thing, and there is room. There is room.
There is room for it, but she hasn't done it. Otherwise, she would have done it with Selena, and which y'all don't know who Selena is, but she would have done it with Selena and fucking Akatar.
Who?
Selena Sardathian is the main character of Throne of Glass. She would have done it.
Okay.
Maybe.
She's not doing it. Anyways.
Maybe. The new series she's been signed
maybe
on for
the new series is one. Maybe. That'd be nice. I'd be into it to see everyone like in a different series. Anyways.
I need a drink. I'll be back in a sec.
So they go get his shit, go back to the lobby, and Sandriel is there. Bryce tries to make a quick exit, but Micah asks her to dinner, and she's like, I'm not interested, thanks, bye. And Hunt's like, oh my god, I don't think Micah's ever been told no in his life. After work that day, Hunt's like, can I watch baseball? And she's like, what? The Umbra Mortis watches baseball? And he's like, I'm just a dude, you know? I'm just a guy, okay?
Just dudes being bros.
He goes to the Oracle. The Oracle is a Sphinx. She reveals the Horn user wants to open the Northern Rift to Hell with one L, by the way, just so we all are aware. Hell is spelled with one L in this universe. And that the broken horn can be fixed. She tells Hunt to stay away from Bryce Quinlan. They all chat about it, and Rune is so confused as to how someone would use and fix the horn. Bryce reveals that she made the Oracle
with magic
go blind.
that isn't magic and light that isn't light. Obviously, That's
I
how
know,
you
right?
fix someone.
Bryce reveals that that the Oracle would tell Hunt to stay away because she made the Oracle blind. Then Lily is like, I like these new friends. Please keep them. Danica was never nice to me. They're nice to me. And I think that has very spicy implications.
Foreshadowing.
No, not necessarily. I just think it has spicy implications that maybe Danica, like Bryce holds Danica on this pedestal.
No, of course she does.
And
look, I can see why.
well,
right?
okay,
Because
though
Danica
actually there is
was the first place where
foreshadowing.
she felt like she was at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, when Lily said that, I'm like, I'm not surprised that Danica was a bitch to you. Not because of Lily. I just like Danica can do no wrong in Bryce's eyes, and no one can live up to that.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't help that all of her secrets in this book also kind of like help elevate her even more.
Yeah, it I don't know. I'll let you come to your, because I'll say Danica's secrets don't stop here. Danica still has a trove of secrets.
Yeah, I will say as well. I'm sorry,
a trove, you say?
Danica doing what she did with the horn was fucking rude. Like her reasons make sense, but how absolutely fucking dare you?
Anyways, we learned that Danica was a rebel sympathizer, a human rebel sympathizer, which is very shocking to Bryce. They get back to her apartment, and Hunt is just in gray sweatpants, reverse baseball cap, and she's like, "You really are not Umbra Mortis. You're just a guy." And he's like, "I told you, I'm just a dude being a bro," and I love it. He talks about his past.
I read about Sunball. Apparently, the next book mentions scoring goals, so some people think it's more like lacrosse than baseball.
Oh, that would make sense. I know. I thought it was baseball.
I thought it was baseball.
I thought it was baseball as well.
Well, because probably whenever Sunball is mentioned is when Ethan is on page, and I don't care about Ethan. So
I saw how Ethan was spelt last night. I'm not okay with it.
I know, ITHAN. It's weird. He talks about his past and how he's tortured, and she's like, "You're a good person. I like you." They talk about the case, and they're like, security cameras. They've been checked, but not close enough. Maybe Danica know who stole the horn and covered for them. So they find Declan at the shooting range. She shoots guns. Fun times. There's been another murder. They all go to the crime scene. Cameras caught nothing. She puts together all the murders are happening near ley lines. They talk boys and girls, and he's like, they talk like romance. And he's like, Shahir ruined me. He's like, I'll love her forever, and he will not. Narrator, he will not love Shahir forever. He will realize he never loved Shahir because Shahir was a manipulative, abusive girlfriend. Anyways, Sabine sees them walking and is like, "Where's my sword?" The next morning they figure
every
out that
chapter she's in, she's like, "Where's my sword?"
Where's my sword?
Until it gets to, "Oh, there's my sword."
Yeah. The next morning they figure out that someone spliced the footage of Luna's temple, and Declan thinks it was Sabine. Part 3, the canyon. Hunt thinks Sabine killed Danica. It doesn't add up. They're both like, it doesn't add up, but it's our only lead. Rune thinks investigating at a doctor's office, or Rune is investigating a doctor's office, thinks the doctor's pretty. He asks her if a med witch could fix a broken magical object, and she's like, maybe. Hunt and Bryce are texting. She changed her name to Bryce Rocks My Socks. So they track directly where
Rysand is the most handsome High Lord. That's what that's giving.
Maybe Bryce and Rhys are actually related instead, and like in spirit. But also Rune would definitely change his name in his future love interest phone to Rune is the most handsome prince.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but the last thing she changes her name to in his phone, and we find out after like the betrayal has been like revealed and everything nothing to do with him, is like her, instead of it being like something that indicates like, oh, he's enamored with Bryce, it's Bryce thinks you're kind of okay type thing.
I thought, okay, maybe I'm thinking of next book where it's like Bryce sucks my cock like a champ. That's her name at one point. She's unhinged.
No, his next book.
That is next book. Okay. Well, then next book you have to look forward to Bryce sucks my cock like a champ. As her name in his phone. Anyways, there was one summon last night, but there was no attack. They track where the summoning happened. They go investigate, and they're like, "Oh, the sewers. Oh, the sewers." They'll go to the docks tomorrow because Hunt has a pal bear. That evening, he discovers he has. Oh, this is one of my favorite scenes. I have two favorite scenes of theirs this book, and this is one of them.
That's
where
what it
he
was.
discovers Jubilee, her fucking plastic glittering unicorns that are literally. It's just
It's a My Little Pony.
It's literally My Little Pony. That's it. She has a collection of My Little Pony in her closet, and she's like, "If you want to know where my dildos were, you could just ask." And he was like, But it's. She later will credit that as the moment she fell in love with him.
Second drawer on the left. She's like, my dildos are in the second drawer on the left. And so every time he's in a room now, he's like, oh, second drawer on the left.
Yeah, he's like, I know her dildos are right there, and I'm scared. We get to go meet Varian, flirt extraordinaire, our boy.
Yeah, so then the final name change of her name in this phone in this book is Bryce thinks Hunt is the best. And he finds it out after he's been arrested, and she wants nothing to do with him, and she hates him.
That's sad. That's cute, but that's sad.
Yeah, because I think that was her. Like she did that to be like, I have a crush on you.
Yeah,
I have the feels, and yeah.
So Therian's gonna ask around to see if mermaid people know anything. He keeps saying he'll send an otter with news, and Bryce is like, "Oh, that's a really cute idea. Sending an otter to bring news from the river. That's a really sweet idea." It's true. They're actual otter messengers, and they're in little yellow jackets, and they fuck. I almost cried the first time I read that, and an otter came on screen, and Bryce is freaking the fuck out. She's like, "Oh my god, it's an otter! It is an otter! It is here!" I almost cried. It was great.
Yeah. I did like that. Although, like I'm like, look, I wouldn't be trusting an otter to do jack shit for me though, because they might be cute as fuck, but they are violent.
Yes.
They are terrifying. I don't ever want to come into contact with an otter.
At work later, she reveals to Hunt that the Oracle, because it's tradition that everyone goes to the Oracle. The Oracle told Danica the phrase, "Through love, all is possible." And that's the phrase tattooed down her back in the old language is what it's called. So they go see Sabine because they think she killed Danica, right? So all the wolves are horrible to Bryce. Hunt defends her. Ethan's the worst.
Yeah, because all of Bryce's text messages got leaked.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So Ethan got to see about how, like, Connor finally, like, you know,
like laid his heart out for her, and then she goes and fucks someone. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
While he's dying.
Yes. Well, and so Ethan's very unhappy. But Hunt's understandably like, you weren't together. You weren't in a relationship with him. Like, it's doesn't. And she's like, yeah, but I
you like half liked him, you know.
That's not how wolves work, though. Like, once intentions have been made clear, it's done.
Yeah.
She's like, but I'm not a wolf.
She warns Ethan of the murders, and he's like, I'll let you know what we find, but are you going to pick up this time? Because he tried calling her the days after their death, and she just didn't answer because she was grieving. More abusing of Bryce before they leave. They later talk about the fact that she had sex with someone else after saying yes to Connor and how it was blasted. Then work's got to happen, so we got to work. Hunt thinks about Bryce and Danica's funeral, aka the sailing, and how the bone quarter guy accepted her and people thought he wouldn't because she quote unquote died a coward, because also along with the text, the surveillance footage, meaning the audio of Danica's death, leaked, and it was her screaming, crying for her life. And if there's a dramatized version, if a dramatized version of this comes out, fuck. I mean, I anticipate there will be eventually, right? Like,
that would be I'd be down.
Hell yeah. We reread this. We reread this once the dramatized version comes out. Anyways, Juniper and Bryce chat about Bryce dancing again. She's like, I'll save you a spot at this class I go to. And Bryce is like, I will think about it, but don't put me down for anything. Hunt's out drinking with Isaiah, and then she leaves the apartment, and Hunt's like, she left already, didn't she? It's 20 minutes longer than I thought she'd last. So he goes after her. A demon launches, bites Hunt's shoulder, fight. Med witches come, and it's over. Hunt's hurt real bad. Micah arrives and is like, we can't let the press catch wind. Bryce thinks Sabine was mad and sent these after them. Rune Danon, Crown Prince of the Valbarn Fae, gets there and chats with the Medwitch. Every time chats with the Medwitch from before. She's like, I've been thinking about things. We'll chat in a few days. Bryce and Hunt almost make out when they get back, but Sabine cockblocks them. She's like, you think I killed my own daughter? You are insane. Because even though I'm a bitch, I love my daughter. I was protecting her. Danica is the one that stole the horn. She's like, if you jeopardize my daughter's legacy, I will kill you. Rune comes in at work for Bryce and is like, there's this new drug that does heavy healing, and the Medwitch thinks it could have healed the horn. It's called synth. Also, there's I forgot about this prophecy. When the sword and the knife are reunited, so our people shall be. This is when we learn about, I'll go ahead and say it, about Azrael's dagger and the Danon sword relationship. And yeah, so when it's yeah. Lele talks about, or Lily talks about how her great grandmother was a queen who fought with Hunt. No one believes it's true, but can confirm it's true. Then a literal otter shows up in a little yellow vest to deliver a message from Therian, and it's very sweet. It's photos of a dead body thrown into the Istros, which is the river, and they kept finding them whenever someone died of demon. That's what she realizes. The demons didn't kill Danica because the state of the bodies post-mortem isn't the same as they found Danica and Maximus. So she's like, we should just like summon a demon. And Hunt's like, you fucking what? So she summons Adis, a prince of hell, who she has a pretty good relationship with. They met when she was a kid. He is from the 5th level of hell, aka the chasm. She's like, you appeared as a cat last time, and Hunt is having a fucking cow. Huh?
Chasms?
Chasms.
Rewired.
Adis is like, we're not sending demons to come fuck with you. We're busy down here. As far as Danica, he says, run the tests again, find what's in between. So she and Hunt chat about how she's friendly with a prince of hell, and she's like, he helped me after I blinded the oracle. She calls Declan and is like, let's rerun the tests on Danica's clothing and any of her remains that we have. I just want to make sure that we got everything. And there was this one test that's Fae that was never run because the Fae were decreed to stay out of it. So she's like, I'm going to go see my fucking dad. And she angry eats, but she goes drinking instead. And Hunt shows up and is like, I know your leg's been hurting you, so I got you this tonic. And she's like, fuck you, I hate you. And he's like, okay, bye. She goes home. He's chilling on the couch. He realizes he doesn't think about Shahar when he's with her. She comes home with a ton of groceries and is making her an apology dinner. She tells Hunt about the motorcycle accident because Danica was investigating some tough shit for her thesis, and Danica got shot twice. So she killed the people that shot Danica. We don't know yet that she used her blinding light to do this, but yeah. Hunt feels bad for ever thinking any of them were just party princesses. He's like, you should do the drop. She's like, it doesn't feel right. And then she's like, listen.
With me.
Yeah, and she's like, listen, after this is over, my guest room is yours. I want you to move in here if you want it forever. And it's like it's not even romantic at that point. It's just, yeah. Adis visits her that night and says, make the drop and then come find me. She says the Autumn King will kill her if he knows something, but doesn't say what if he knows. They bring Danica's clothes to Victoria, who's another character that dies. It doesn't matter. To do the fancy Faytech. Bryce's name is now Bryce is a queen. They binge watch shitty reality TV. Micah is like, I have a job for you. It's torture. Bryce, this is the beginning of my next favorite scene between the two of them. She's really worried. He gets home and he just goes to take a shower without saying a word to her. He's in there for a while, so she goes in there and just like takes care of him. And I'm a sucker for these types of scenes, that like taking care scenes, because I think it's so sweet.
Yeah.
And
well, especially because like he has to kill people, but like he doesn't enjoy it.
Want to kill people. Yeah. And then Rune texts her later, is like, I know things are bad, but I'm always here for you. Juniper then sends her a really angry text because Bryce didn't go to the dance class, even though Bryce said she was probably not going to go. Oh, hi, buddy. He's touching my elbow. They almost kiss. They don't. Jessica comes back with a knock. Is that how they say it? Knock. The flesh-eating fish. Okay.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
She's like, later, a few days pass. She's like, hey, my mom wants to meet you. We're FaceTiming at 7. Victoria, the other person, finds synth on Danica's clothing. She calls Rune to see what he knows about it. Obsidian salt is one of the ingredients. They FaceTime her parents. Randall's like, oh, I know you. And Ember's like, you're living with Umbra Mortis. And Randall's like, please, Umbra Mortis. His name is Hunt, please. And it's very sweet. And Hunt's like, hey.
Lie. I feel like the mother is like Ember is really gonna just annoy the fuck out of me.
She
reminds me of my mom.
She reminds me of Renee in Twilight.
I don't know if you're getting that, but like she reminds me of my mom.
I can see it.
Renee in
good
Twilight?
Mom.
That's not what I was getting at all.
Like in the terms of like, oh, she's my best friend, we're so close and this and that, but every single time she's on page, she's just like so over the top and like, for example, and
they get mad at each other and they fight.
No, like in a clip, she's like, you can't be with this boy because you guys just like love each other too much. And she goes, I know, Mom, that's why I should be with him because I love him too much. And as a teen, you're like, oh, go away. But also as an adult, I'm like, yeah, this relationship is really codependent and fucking weird and probably predatory in some way, but not the point.
Definitely.
But like the MC like puts like the mother on such a fucking pedestal, and every single time she's on page, I'm just like, shut your fucking mouth. I don't want to hear a word you're saying right now. Even if I can understand your motivations, you're just coming across really annoying. That is kind of the Renee. That's what I mean by like she reminds you of Renee.
She's kind of in the next book about the same level that she's in this book.
Okay, I can live with her in that amount.
Yeah. Maybe a hair more, but not much more.
Because also, I'm not gonna lie as well. Like, she's a bit. Look, I understand she decided to like bang a faking, and he decided to beat her up, and she ran away. So she's gonna have issues, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, but the second she's like, oh, you can't be with him. He's a veneer male, and they're all the exact same person. I'm like,
yeah.
One person was mean to you.
Doesn't mean they're
one
all
person.
Like that. Yeah.
Like the cruelest, like there's very few people, like even every other veneer is like, yeah, he's a dick. He's a dick. Everyone is like, he's a dick. But yeah, that was all.
Anyways, so Hunt is like, hey, have you tried to make her go to the doctor for the demon venom in her leg? And they're like, demon venom in her leg, and then Bryce gets really mad. Then she eventually later tells Hunt that if the pain is gone, then Danica's gone. So that's why she doesn't want to get it fixed. And he's like, I'm so fucked. I'm in love with her. Oh, God.
I think that there was actually more to that as well. Because she even said as well, like, since she got bit, she wasn't fighting to keep her light hidden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think she was lying. But I think that there was a second reason.
Yeah. They go to the meat market and learn that the mayor have been the ones selling synth, but they talk to Theron, and Theron's like, no, it's being sold on the river, but we're not the ones selling it. And also, by the way, Danica made a purchase of synth like the days before she died. And she also may have been selling it. And Bryce is like, she would never. Basically, synth.
She would though. She wears leather jackets. That's like what that means. Also, the Devil's Pack or whatever the fuck it's
the
called.
Pack of Devils, but they're law enforcement.
I know, but I will say Pack of Devils. I'm just like, look, someone's
it's not law
trying
enforcement.
to be an edgy teen.
Yeah,
someone's trying to be an edgy teen.
So she may have been selling it. Basically, it enhances veneer abilities and it gives humans veneer abilities. She calls Fury. Fury finally answers and is like, yeah, Danica talked about synth, but we didn't want to tell you because we wanted you to stay far away from that ship because you would have taken it. and probably died. It's some auspicious day. Bryce is being distant. Hunt's encouraging them to focus on finding the horn instead of following the synth lead. So there you go. There's some foreshadowing that Hunt's involved in synth. Later, we find out that it's Danica's birthday. She got croissants for her, and Hunt are about to eat them. She opens the box, and someone wrote trash on them. Hunt goes sicko mode. Next morning, she asks Hunt to go to the med witches with her. During the procedure, they joke about...
That was fucking cruel. You need to actually explain, because like that ends up being the catalyst to a thing. So there was a girl who had the hots for Connor forever, but
her name's irrelevant. She's not important.
Emily,
something like that. Yeah, sure.
Yes, so she stole Bryce's actual croissants, because there was a box there with the actual message, which was probably happy birthday, because when Ethan opens it, he's like, oh shit. So I'm guessing there was a message, and she'd replaced it with the word one saying trash. And he went over there and he choked her out, or whatever the hell he did, and he said, stay the fuck away from her. You don't think about her, you don't look at her, you don't talk to her, you don't steal her croissants. Fuck you, stay away from her. And then he leaves.
The next morning, she asks Hunt to go to the med witch. They joke about the med witch removing Hunt's slave tattoos. They kiss. After the procedure, she's resting, and Micah's like, both of you are now. Sabine's here. Micah says his punishment will be the living death. Everyone is, even the girl that he choked out is like, this is too far. Don't do this. But Sabine's like, nope, do this. We learned that Bryce traded her spot in the afterlife so Danica would make it, because Danica was probably not going to make it because she died a coward. So Bryce gave up her spot. That was
Sabine's interpretation, whereas Bryce was just like, I just can't take the chance. Now, my question is, does that mean that Bryce can't go? Or does it mean that if Danica wasn't able to go, then she, like, did they just trade fates, or does she just say, Danica gets my fate and I get nothing?
That's it.
Okay.
I think it's like a guarantee that Danica makes it, but Bryce gets nothing in the afterlife. So when she's dead, there is no afterlife for her. She's just gone. That's what it's assumed.
Okay.
After some sleuthing, Bryce figures out that there's a flash drive hidden in her jacket. Oh, the living death. Hunt gets his wings cut off. They'll grow back in a week. It's fine. But he won't be able to fly for like a month.
Yeah.
She plugs it in. There's 3 videos.
Yeah. Just because this is mentioned throughout the thing as well. I'm guessing that this is going to be probably somewhat important, maybe at some point. All of the Fae powers over time have just been getting weaker and weaker and
weaker. Heavily. Yep.
Over the last
15,000
years, they've just been getting weaker.
Yes.
And I'm thinking it's because they're not in the universe they should be in.
I don't know.
They should be elsewhere.
So the videos are synth trials on humans. They give it to the human, and human literally rips veneer to shreds, very similarly to how Danica and the Pack died and how Maximus died. And then the human at the end tore themselves apart. Anyways, Hunt and Bryce make out. Then his back starts bleeding because their foreplay is so intense that his back starts bleeding because his wings have been cut off.
I'm not gonna this was really weird, right? Because he's just he's finger banging her, right? That's what he's doing, and he has an orgasm that rocks his body so bad it slams him against the wall, and I'm like,
no, they're on the couch.
They're on the couch. Whatever it's doing, whatever she's doing. When
they're on her fucking white couch.
I hope it's leather, because at least you can just.
Well, they have spells. They got magic at least.
True.
So
but
later,
how rough can one finger bang someone that it ends up
your back breaks
open to bleed?
I don't know. She gets word later from Therian that there's a synth deal happening right now. So we see the Viper Queen selling synth. Then we see Hunt. She learns that Danica is the one that made it leak and go to the streets. Hunt reveals that Danica killed herself after she overdosed on synth and killed the Pack and then herself. Hunt says he wanted it for the rebellion, the human rebellion, but then decided against it. She's pissed. Fury is here. Hunt is imprisoned. Part 4, the ravine. Hunt's just in jail. Bryce is unhappy. Then her dad shows up at work. They chat about the horn, and he's like, I loved your mom desperately. She loved me too, and I ruined it. And then he leaves.
Her dad,
like, the Autumn King. Baron shows up.
Her father.
Yeah.
Baron shows up, basically.
Yes.
She tries to Google what they're doing with Hunt, but can't find anything. She's ticked off. Like, it's standard, third act ticked offness. Sandriel shows up to his cell. She tortures him with all the photos they took of each other in the past few weeks.
Every single time Sandriel was said, my brain went the Duke of Sandringham.
Yeah, I know, right? It's revealed that Sandriel has bought Hunt back. Rune and Bryce officially make up.
Gifted back.
Oh, yes. He was gifted back as his punishment for trying to get sent for the rebellion. Fury's in Bryce's apartment. Like, Micah has given Hunt away, and Bryce is pissed. So Fury and her hash it out, and it's not fully resolved, but Fury blames herself partially for Danica's death, essentially. She's like, Hunt deserves whatever.
Sorry, it was also said at some point, because I'm pretty sure Fury references this in this whole, their whole thing. Not too long after Danica and the pack died, Bryce was about to
Bryce was about to. And Juniper was the only reason she didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think she texted or called Juniper earlier, and she was like, and
it was very
where she was or something, and Juniper's like, well, this isn't good, so she calls her and keeps her on the phone, and then gets there, and she doesn't jump.
Yeah. She's like, Hunt is my friend. I have to save him. So they're starting to take Hunt, and you hear Bryce screaming, wait. And this is also why I want a dramatized version. Because I'm here for the female fucking characters screaming their love interest names. Because I literally, in my dreams, I hear Nesta screaming Cassian's name. Like, it haunts me in the best way. So good. She shows up with a check to buy Hunt because he told her earlier how much he was worth. So she's like, I have a check. And Rune is like, for fuck's sake. And Sandriel reveals to everyone, you're the only daughter of the Autumn King.
Yeah, because it's not a small check as well. It's like what?
It's like $100 million.
Yeah, it was like 97 million gold marks or whatever the fuck it is.
That she borrowed from Jezebel and would have to pay Jezebel back for, which means like it would take thousands of years to pay Jezebel back.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she said that it would take her until she was 300 to pay her back for
Syrinx,
who was 230 something thousand gold marks.
Yeah, but Jezebel wrote her a check. But Sandriel refuses. Rune
Jezebel isn't as much as the cold bitches she
I love Jezebel.
I love Jezebel.
Like at the end of this book, and she's like, and there's that last message, just like, "Are you okay?"
Oh my god! Just wait till next book. She continues to be the sassy, like, "Oh, you haven't figured this out yet? Okay,
Jezebel
bye."
And Rune a thing? Is that what it is? Oh
Ugh, no. Ugh. I imagine Jezebel like a 60-year-old woman.
Oh, I don't.
I know she's like 400, but like, no. I don't think you'd be able to guess based on the information you have right now.
Have they already been introduced?
Not on screen. I'm not telling you any more than that. Anyways, so Bryce gets Hunt is like, don't look for me again. I don't like you. Rune formally claims Bryce as
Bryce also tries to pay for herself. Him with her super super special amulet, and she's like, fuck this, and melted it.
Yeah. Rune and his friend Bryce gets attacked by a demon. Rune and his friends show up. She's mad at Rune. She goes home. She has some realization off screen. It's the summit. Woo. The med witch we keep meeting is the queen of the witches. Hi, Paxia. Hi, girlfriend. Fury is there along with all the other major characters other than Bryce. Rune starts chatting to Hunt in his mind because he's a Damonte. Wait, what? Sorry, did that word just come out of my mouth?
It's almost like he and Reese are just the same person.
I don't know what I'm saying, guys. I'm just so quirky. So, I have it in here like his cousin. So maybe they're cousins. I don't fucking know.
Okay, now they're cousins. Got it. Okay, got it.
I don't know. I don't know.
They are in some way related. I don't. Maybe it's closely, maybe it's distantly, but they share a common ancestor somewhere.
They have to, right? Anyways, the Asteri make a FaceTime experience and everyone has like a visceral reaction because they have such an immense amount of power. Bryce is watching the thing on live TV. Rune and Hypaxia chat about their betrothal and the fact that they've known each other and how neither of them want to get married. Micah is not here today, which is weird because Micah is at Jezba's shop with Bryce. He goes to the downstairs section, with all the contraband. She manages to message Jezebel like SOS, so Jezebel puts her video feed on the big screen for everyone to show that Micah is like fucking off today. Rune is like, send a unit there immediately.
Yeah, and this
we're in the end game now, guys.
When Jessica does that as well, that is your first hint that she's not just like the cold-hearted bitch ever. Because like they're in the secret illegal library.
Yeah,
and they're in her illegal library, and she's like, my fear of her and what is happening, or for her rather, and what is happening is greater than the fear of what's going to happen to me. And we need to wrap this up in the next 37 minutes because then I have to leave.
Got it. We're almost done.
Let's go.
All right. Rune is like, send a unit there immediately. Micah is like, I want Luna's horn. She's like, I don't know where it is. He's like, you are the horn. I know you know that. He reveals that he gave Danica the synth to kill the pack and herself. And then sending the demon
like
shit
against her will. Like he's not like he have some to kill everyone.
Yeah. Danica was the one getting their test subjects and just in general tracking people down for the synth trials. He wants to summon an army to end the humans and prevent the war coming to Valbara, which is the Valbaran Fae. It's the country essentially they're in. He's going to inject Bryce with synth to unlock her magic and to use the horn. Micah throws Syrinx into the Nook tank. She has synth in her system, but manages to lock Micah in the bathroom. And this sequence is so tense. I'm like flying through it, but it's so tense. Bryce jumps into the tank with the Nook. She gets Syrinx out, but the Nook drags her under. And also, all of this is being live streamed to the rest of the cast. So everyone's watching this and also reacting to it, but I'm just glossing over it. She makes it. Lily is like, we gotta go, but Bryce is really injured. Lily's like, let me buy you time. And Bryce reveals that she bought her. And Lily's like, I know, I'm choosing this. This is my one choice as a free person. It's so sad. She makes it to Jezebel's office.
Yeah, and well, because what Lily does while Bryce is doing what she needs to do is she starts blasting fire at the Nox tank while he's trying to break out of her.
Because it's like a 2-story tank. It's a huge big tank. Yeah.
And the blasts don't quite do it, but they do widen the crack. So then she just goes and holds herself up against the glass and heats herself up to super hot to melt a hole, and the whole thing collapses.
Yeah, I'm not.
And it won't kill him, but it does.
My friends are with me.
Yeah,
slows him down enough. It gives Bryce the second she needs to repair the Godslayer rifle, and she shoots him in the head. Time gets all fucky for a second because an archangel dies, and then
and then
Bryce,
she gets the sword and cuts his head in half, and then she burns
him and then vacuums him, which is the most badass thing I've ever read in a fucking book.
But also, when you're killing an immortal, though, it's good to be thorough.
Yeah. Bryce also drinks the antidote for synth, so she's good.
And then Witch Queen is like, oh yeah, by the way, I sent her the antidote. I thought it might come.
I thought it'd be useful considering she's the reason I got the antidote. Anyways, a portal has opened in Crescent City. Every gate, the 7 gates, have opened. There's chaos at the summit and on the ground.
Portals.
The portals to hell, guys. Portals to hell. Don't get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Micah destroyed all their transportation, but Fury says she has a helicopter. Sabine's father calls Bryce a true wolf, and poor Sabine is going to lose her mind. Bryce calls Jezebel and is like, I need backup, and Ethan is like, the wolves are with you, Bryce. So
because also this whole time that Hunt and everyone is begging Sabine, send the wolves to the place.
Yeah, they're all also scrambling to get her help. Yeah, because she's just single-handedly fighting a bunch of demons now.
Yeah, because the wolves are all currently guarding places that don't need guarding because they're super powerful warded and no demons can get in. And they're like, hey, they're not needed there. Can we get there? And she's like, no. We have protocols.
Yeah.
And then all the shifters are like, fuck your protocols.
Yeah. And the Viper Queen's people come to join Bryce and fight alongside her. All the shelter doors now close. All the humans, the children, everyone is safe behind the shelter doors, but Bryce is still inside. She calls Hunt, and What's Her Nuts gives Hunt the phone. Thank God.
Yeah.
She says her goodbyes and runs through the gate. Light explodes from her chest. She says she is the heir of the Starborn Fae, which is so fun. We see a memory of how she killed those guys that night forever ago, and it was with her light. Everyone at the summit is fucking shook. Hypaxia removes Hunt's slave crown. He obliterates Sandriel. Like, I mean,
yeah. Oh, but Sandriel has
obliterate
called in, yeah, but she's already called in the
Asteri
Asteri
fighters
who are coming in to kill Bryce.
to nuke the city. Well, they're coming in to nuke the city.
Yeah, but they're also coming in to kill Bryce.
Yeah,
because they don't want her powers.
Yeah,
because it fucks everything up for them. Because the imagery is bad that a half human has
this much power,
the strongest power of the original Fae.
Yeah. Our gang is getting ready to go, but the Asteria are sending missiles to bomb the city. Bombs go off, and Bryce gets pinned in the debris. Just as another bomb is dropping, Hunt makes it and shelters Bryce. He is like eviscerated, absolutely gone. Meanwhile, the helicopter crashes.
His legs, his wings are gone.
Yeah, he just grew
He's a torso and a head. He's a torso and a head.
He is Anakin Skywalker at the end of episode 3. That is Hunt.
And she really said, "I'm establishing that he can grow himself back, so that I can."
Well, I mean, to be fair, Bryce heals him.
Yeah, well, because it also says in this the brimstone missiles.
Oh no, this book does have regenerating penises, Noah.
Yeah,
you missed that earlier.
The magic in the brimstone missiles as well actually prevents super healing. So it happens at human speed, which means that he will. So then that way angels will bleed out before they can regenerate.
Yes.
So he's gonna die. Like he's not gonna.
He is dying. Bryce goes to that wishing portal thing from chapter 1 and just starts screaming for help. And she's like, "I need someone here because I'm about to make the fucking drop."
She works out that she can heal everything.
I wanted to be on record that she off-screen-ish. She tells him those 3 words she didn't get to say aloud. I want it to be known because next book, she's like, I never told him I loved him, and now I'm telling him I love. She fucking told him. Like, right? We all agree. She told him she loves him.
Well, yeah, I mean,
let me find because the thing is, immediately after she says, like I said those 3 words, then she starts saying "light it up." I'm like, I don't think those are the 3 words that
I don't think those are the 3 words
because he even says, "You coward! You waited until I was almost dead to tell me."
Yeah, like it has to be "I love you," and then next book she's like, "I've never told a man I loved him before," and I'm like, "Yeah, you have at the end of last book, you dumbass."
Yeah. And then she said it, the 3 words that meant more than anything. She whispered them into his ears, sending them with all she had left in her. The final truth, the one she needed him to hear.
Tell me that's not I love you. Anyways.
Danica whispered into her heart. Oh, also, by the way, this whole exchange where Danica's like speaking to her.
Oh yeah,
like,
Danica's back, by the way.
This sounds ridiculous in the book. Like I just imagined it. Oh, well, because it's just like, light it up. And she's like, I tried. It's just like, light it up, light it up, light it up. And they both just start screaming, light it up, really enthusiastically. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? I'm like, can everyone else hear this?
Dramatized. I think it'd be much better dramatized because it'd be more serious.
Yeah, look, I didn't realize that these words weren't actually said out in the world because the others are reacting to them as well. Like, because Sabine's like, that's my daughter. And they're like, how can they do this? And it's like,
they're like, you can't have a dead person anchor you. But so she goes through the drop, she closes all the gates, she officially has more power than the Autumn King himself. Bryce flatlines because you can't have a dead anchor. Danica and her have a talk and she's like, I'm done, I'm not going back. And Danica's like, you dumb whore, I'm dead, I love you, and that guy out there loves you, go live your life. And she's like, you're right, I should go. So it's cute.
But then Danica like this one last little, because the little piece of Danica's soul that lives in the bone quarter or whatever kills itself.
Yeah.
To get her. Bryce up. Because she can't make that jump on her own. Because apparently like you gotta like run up a ramp and then do a jump and then run up the ramp.
Yeah.
And
it's weird, but whatever.
Everyone in the thing is like no one with artificial power. Because she's got quote unquote artificial power because she's got the power of all of the gates, all the drops of magic. That's why she's so powerful now. They're like, that's not her own power. She can't do that jump. But Danica's like, fuck you. I'm going to kill myself too. And she does.
Yeah, she tells Bryce before she makes the jump, you healed him. He's still alive. He's waiting for you. And so that's part of the reason why Bryce goes back. The Autumn King is like how he calls Bryce's
Ember.
mom and is
Yeah.
like, the fuck? And she's like, you're a dick. I
Well-
hate you. Bye. That's it. Sabine is sobbing. She's alive. They go back to the apartment. They get
Harvey, be
cock-blocked immediately
careful.
by Ember. Hunt gets a call from Isaiah. Like, please help. Bryce gets a call from the Asteri. Oh my god. Oh, I can't wait for this big theory to come out next week. Regulus?
Okay.
Regulus? The head Asteri.
Reguru?
Regulus is his name. It's Rigelus. Rigelus.
Yeah, I can't remember how that was said. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I want to say it's Regulus, but it's not spelled like Regulus. He's like, say nothing and y'all are free to live your lives forever. Hunt is officially no longer a slave. They're free. And then in the epilogue, we have Adis, the seventh prince of hell, talking to Jezebel. They work together, and he's like, I think Hunt's father would be really proud of him. And then what is it? Is it like, oh, he was bred for this or something, or is that next book? Oh.
I don't know.
I think Athalar's father would have been proud, sentimental of you. Feel free to disagree, of course. You knew the male best. That's spicy.
Yeah.
Wait, who's
Shush. Sorry.
All we know about
Jessica
Hunt's
mom?
All we know about Hunt's mom is that she died when he was young. Even younger.
Or became an antique stealer.
Or became an antique stealer. You knew who the male
and
best.
then if she and Rune, sorry, because I don't know who it is, and then if she and Rune started
No.
dating, we would have a very
No.
once upon a time situation on our hands.
Shush.
You know, like if you think about it,
And then
we
she
get very
also
once upon a
says-
time up in here. I'm just saying.
She also says, don't fuck us over this time, Adis. And he says, I don't plan to, not when things are about to get so interesting. And now I'm wondering, 2 seconds. Hang on. I gotta see if I'm just confusing epilogues. So.
Yeah,
do.
I'm just.
Okay.
Let me find.
Oh god. Oh, Mara, you're gonna flip your fucking shit.
Am I?
God, you're gonna flip your shit. No, the epilogue of next book is fucking Ethan. Gross. Never mind. I don't, because there's some line in this book that's like Athalar was bred for this or something that I'm confused about. But that has been House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J
Yay.
Maas. Book 1 in the
Yay!
Crescent City
We did
series.
it.
Go team.
Shorter
Alright,
than I thought.
We
it
have
would
to
be.
let you go.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to go. pick
But we
up-
will be back here
Next
next week
week?
with House
Hey,
of
the
Breath and
title's
Sky.
bigger. House of Sky and Breath.
House of Sky and Breath. Excuse
It's a
me.
lot bigger. Look, Crescent City is tiny on this one compared to.
Yeah.
But there's Hunt. Say hi, Hunt. Say bye, Hunt. Yeah, he's yeah. Anyways, next week.
Yeah.
Next week, and then finally I can talk freely. Because Throne
Yes.
of Glass doesn't have that much there's I still want you guys to read it before I give you any Throne of Glass spoilers, but like as far as inner series connectivity, I don't have to give you any spoilers with Throne of Glass to tell you how.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna have
works.
to take a break.
Oh fuck yeah. My
between-
TBR my TBR on
So we
Goodreads
need to
is
find-
completely book talk books. So we can just kind of go through and kind of figure out what we want to do next.
Excellent.
That works for me.
I'm trying to vet
and-
some books as well.
Did
So I can
you
figure
read
out.
that ice hockey one? Is that one that I saw that you were reading?
Yeah,
Was that
You
a
don't wanna
talk
read it.
book?
that's a book talk book.
Okay.
You don't want to read it. I've been vetting book talk books to see if they're going to be fun or not. And so far, I have not found a good one that we could do for book club. But I don't know what I'm going to do for my tattoo for this one, guys. So when y'all finish reading it, suggestions are welcome. Because I have
Okay.
I've already
a
got it.
wolf with kind of a city I have an idea of what I want to do, but I don't know.
Do you have a cloud?
No.
Do you have
I
a
might.
snake? Because on the pretty covers that I sent the link for, there is a snake.
Yeah, there's
at the
a
top of House of
the
Spine
Hunt
Breath.
has a snake. Wait,
Yeah.
Hunt has a snake. Viper Queen? I don't know. The Viper Queen is in this book, obviously, but I don't know. Anyways,
Look, there is a snake on every cover. Okay, on every cover I've seen of this book, I'm looking at 3 different ones. There is a snake. Do you have a snake?
I have a snake.
Have a snake.
Snake
have a
is
snake.
probably.
I'm guessing
anyway.
snake is relevant.
Not really, but
Then why is there snake?
I don't fucking know. I don't know if it's trying to hint at something. Also, why does Hunt have a million tattoos on this cover? Like, I have so many questions.
Anyway,
Well, he also has white
will be
wings.
back.
So is that even him?
I mean, it's got to be. No, they're gray.
but we'll be back next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, but it's
Yes, we
late.
will.
Yeah.
You need to go. So
I need
I'm
to
gonna
go.
leave this book right here for next week.
all right.
All right.
How
So-
long is the
Bye.
next one?
It's a little bit longer, not too much longer,
Yep.
but a little bit longer.
Okay.
So goodbye.
Because there's more perspectives.